From San Luis Obispo, California, this is Bobcat Game Day. Tonight, the Mustangs from Cal Poly take on the Bobcats from Montana State. Hi again, everyone. I'm Chris Byers along with Dean Alexander. And Dean, it is an absolute ideal evening for college football.
Boy, it is good for surfing, good for football. One of these teams hopes to surf on the other one tonight.
That's right. And two newcomers, one for each team that have made big improvements for each program, starting with the Bobcats and their wide receiver, Tremaine Murray.
Tremaine Murray, big week last week, obviously rewarded and recognized by the Big Sky Conference as Player of the Week for his big weekend. He hopes to be able to show the home folks, so to speak, what he has tonight. He's from Oxnard, California.
And on the other side of the football, James Noble, newcomer to their program, had a big week last week as Cal Poly got it done on the ground.
A big high school player here, leading rusher in the state of California. His senior year at 5'6", came in, picked up where he left off, was a factor last week. The Bobcats hope he's not a factor tonight.
A battle of two nationally ranked football teams, Cal Poly and the Bobcats. Let's go now to Chris Bach for the keys to tonight's game.
Well, guys, you mentioned Tremaine Murray, and we will hear from him at halftime about how he has become Travis Lulay's favorite target. And with that, we will present the Montana Forward keys to the game. First, for the home team, Cal Poly, the Mustangs. They need to shut down the run, the #1 rush defense last year in the country. They need to do it again and make Travis Lulay throw the ball. They also need to run the ball on offense. That's what they do best, so they're going to need to do that. And they need to establish a lead early. They need to get ahead because last year they went 201 to 104, outscored opponents in the first half. Montana State, on the other hand, they need to keep up that defense that has been playing so well. They also need to stop the ball on the ground. Cal Poly runs it, they're going to need to stop them. They also need to ride their confidence coming into this game. They are a good football team, and that will help them get over the hump of this 6-game losing streak to Cal Poly. That'll do it for the Montana Forward keys to the game. We'll be right back with this at the kickoff with Chris and Dean.
Charlie, how did the weather shatter? Beautiful day weather-wise along the coast today, and a beautiful night for football. Have a light breeze and mostly clear skies. We'll be back with tonight's kickoff from San Luis Obispo right after this.
Spring, summer, winter, and fall. 4 Seasons does it all. Professional in parking lot and landscape maintenance. Integrity, dependability, knowledge, service. Asphalt rejuvenation to sprinkler irrigation. Tree and turf care to snow and ice liability management. Progressive, protective, curative, creative. We protect your investments. Hardscape, softscape, landscape, you can escape when you call 4 Seasons. Total Property Maintenance, serving all Montana and Idaho markets. One call does it all. 1-866-606-2467.
We started working with Transaria because we had a need for high quality, high speed, high capacity, and highly scalable bandwidth in massive quantities, and Transaria meets that need perfectly. Well, Transaria is, in a word, fast. Fast response, fast to deal with, and very, very fast bandwidth.
Hey, Mom and Dad, the Billings Hotel and Convention Center has a package just for you. For just $74, you get one night stay with a room for 4, complimentary continental breakfast, plus your choice of 4 passes to Geyser Park or the Maze Thing, and 2 passes for comedy night. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center, conveniently located off King Avenue Interchange, has all the services you expect. Dine in comfort in the restaurant or take a dip in the pool when you take advantage of the Fall into Fun special at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center.
Max Media of Montana is taking Montana TV to the max. Max Media of Montana's statewide television group offers you maximized viewing choices with more stations and top programming in each market. Our Montana News Network delivers comprehensive local news, weather, and sports from around our state. The Montana Sports Network puts you in the stadium with Montana State Bobcat football broadcasts. We are Montana. We are Max Media.
Back at Mustang Stadium for the start of tonight's ball game between the Mustangs from Cal Poly, the Bobcats from Montana State. And Dean, going into this game, let's take a look at the two coaches. Mike Kramer with Montana State with a couple of teams now in the Big Sky Conference, and Rich Ellerson in his 5th season with the Mustangs.
Well, Rich loves being here against the Bobcats. He has Kramer's number. Kramer in his 6th season right now, 2nd winningest coach in all time in Big Sky history. Rich Ellerson here, a man who is from Hawaii, spent some time in Arizona, loves it here at Cal Poly, and knows that tonight, look out, he may be the head coach, he may not be the favorite here on his home field.
Well, the Mustangs have won 6 straight against the Bobcats, 4 under head coach Mike Kramer. They'll try to snap that tonight. We mentioned at the top of the show, Dean, a battle of 2 nationally ranked football teams as the Mustangs come in number 18 in the 1AA poll, and Montana State right now, its highest ranking, Dean, since the 1984 championship season. They come in at number 11.
And Kramer said, he took it on his shoulders, said that basically the difference has been his coaching. So he says he has to be a better coach in this one tonight.
Boy, a beautiful day. They talk about the California sunshine. We got plenty of it as it starts to dip to the west. This stadium, part of a major renovation project. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the evening goes on. We're going to give you some interesting camera angles because of the juxtaposition of where our cameras are. We'll explain that at any rate. Tyler Bolton set to kick it away for the Bobcats, and we're about to begin in this matchup of nationally ranked 1AA programs.
Bolton has done a great job here in the young season of getting that ball in the end zone for touchbacks. Showed a lot of leg.
Russell and Tolver are back deep. And this ball game is away. Kick sails out of the end zone. Nice job by Bolton.
Well, that is number 13 on the young season for him for the touchback. He's done a great job.
Mustangs will have the ball to start this one, 1st and 10 from the 20. And they'll face a Bobcat defense, Dean, that has been very stingy in giving up points. There's a look at the stadium. They're expecting a sellout crowd tonight of about 7,500 fans, and you see that they are all on one side of the field. So we take a look at the offensive line for the Mustangs. Up front, these are the big fellas. And then the backs and receiver, there's James Noble, had that great game last week as they go to work 1st and 10 from the 20. The give over the right side, whacked at the line of scrimmage and brought down for no gain. Good job by that front 3 of Montana State.
A big concentration for the Bobcats. Stop the ground game. Take a look at the quarterback, Anthony Garnett. The Bobcats have not seen him. 6'1" senior from Seaside JC transfer. And he came on for his first start last week. It had a fractured finger, and he stepped right in and took over. So the Bobcats haven't seen him as yet. He wasn't with them last year.
That's right. Did not play in their season opener in a loss to Troy State, but was very effective last week in their win over Sac State. So it's 2nd down and 10 from the 20. No gain on the play. Just underway from California. Garnett rolls to his right, looks downfield, throws deep. This one hangs up there, batted around and caught. Wow, what a catch by number 22, the wide receiver. That is Jason Holmes, and a first down up near midfield.
Holmes, a good one, to put it mildly. Holmes at 6'2", 203. Kyle Hunter was there at 5'10", 165, slapped at it. A good job by the Bobcat defense of putting the heat on Garnett, who was hit as he threw. The ball wobbled, but a great adjustment to the ball by Jason Holmes, the senior for Cal Poly.
Not really a pretty pass, Dean, but effective. As you look at it again, he just hung it up there, and Holmes able to bring it down for the catch. So 1st down, Bobcat territory at the 47.
Name of the game, concentration. He did that.
That's right. Opening drive here in quarter number 1. They run a little misdirection back the other way, up over the 40, down inside to the 30-yard line. Good hard running by number 27 for the Mustangs. James Noble had the big game last week. And let's take a look now at the Bobcat defense. It's a good one. The 3 linemen up front, Chris Coloni, Luis Salcido, and Aaron Papage out of Great Falls, Montana. The 4 linebackers, Nick Marutis, Clive Lowe, Mullahan, and Epi King. And in the backfield, it's Kyle Hunter and Andre Fuller at the corners. Ryan Force and Toff Grinfeld are in the backfield at safety.
That was the big play of the game. Granted, it's early, but you would have been looking at a 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs, as it is now. They're in Bobcat territory at the 1st down.
1st and 10 from the 33, single setback, Noble. Man comes to motion, and Noble gets the call again. Tries to work the left side. A great job by the Bobcat defense up front. Short gain, we'll call it 2 on the play. 2nd and 8.
Well, Mullahan, the guy in there, and he's going to have to be the guy in there all night long for the Bobcats, the linebacker core of the 6-foot senior, 2-time All-Big Sky, and he has to show why in this one tonight. He's got to be the leader in stopping that run defense.
Ball at the 31. 2nd and 8. One thing they get with their quarterback, Garnett, is a lot of mobility back there. This time the give is to the fullback. And Martinez with another short gain to the 30-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
Well, and the other thing, you talk about that, I think the question mark you might have on quarterback Anthony Garnett is, can he throw it? He hasn't shown that he can yet. But when you have a receiver out there who's going to catch the knuckleball, what the heck? Aaron Papage was the guy submarining under that time, put him in a 3rd down situation.
Well, first key play of the ball game with a 3rd and 7 from the 30. Mustangs in Bobcat territory on this opening drive. Garnett this time will operate out of the gun. 2 wide to the left. He'll run a little option. He'll keep it. Tries to cut up inside, and he'll be well short of the 1st down. And again, a good job by the Bobcat defense to stuff the run play.
Good job there, and also a little bit of what you're going to see all night long from Cal Poly, and that is they're going to make you honest. You're not sure what that quarterback is going to do with it because he can and will throw out of it very well. But at that time elected to keep it, but also he has the good size, quite obviously. But also I don't think his strength is running to his left as he tried this time against the Bobcat defense and cut it up inside. And, of course, as we said before, you've got Mac Mullahan coming in there.
All right.
Well, he stumbles and falls.
Oh, they rolled the dice on 4th and 5. Garnett slips and falls in the backfield. And Montana State holds and will take over on downs as the Mustangs opt to go for it. So they pass up the field goal attempt, Dean, on an impressive opening drive, the long pass play getting into Montana territory, but the Cats able to come up with the big play defensively.
Well, I wondered about the field goal. Nick Coromillas, their field goal kicker's longest is 43. That would have exceeded that, but also I said before, I questioned the ability of Garnett to run to his left. Guess what? He was tackled by a blade of grass out there, I think. Reached up and got him.
So the Cats take over on their opening possession. Travis Lulay, quick 2-step drop, fires over the middle. Got a man, that's complete for the Bobcats as Tremaine Murray goes right back to work again where he left off last week when he had that big numbers offensively. And taking a look at the offensive line, Bolton Jensen, Brant Birkland, the center, Lawrence Figueroa, and Joe Hurst. And behind him, Michael Bass gets the start. The receivers, Chaz Gwynn, Tremaine Murray, Michael Brown filling in for Javon Miller tonight, who was questionable after being injured last night. And there's Travis Lulay, the starting quarterback, who continues to move up and set new records in the Big Sky Conference.
Gigantic picture of him in the local paper today.
Good hard running by Bass. He goes straight up the middle, takes it right up near midfield. And let's set the defense for you for Cal Poly. Here's the guys up front. Chris Gogong, the Buchanan Award finalist last year. He's the man that anchors the front line for the Mustangs. Your linebackers were Stelly Shotwell, Thomas Curiel, and Justin Peak. And in the backfield for Cal Poly, Courtney Brown, Chacone Williams, and Randy Samuel for Chino Hills, California. 2nd and 4 from the 50. Opening possession for Montana State. Bass will get the call again, cuts it up inside, has some running room, and close to a 1st down.
Well, we talk about the running game for Cal Poly and that being a factor that the Bobcats have to worry about. Don't think that Cal Poly is not going to have to worry about the Bobcat running game because, granted, it is only the 3rd game of the season. It has gotten better each game. And we talk about the linebackers for the Bobcats. A good set also for Cal Poly, witnessed that time by Kyle Shotwell, who's been all everything for them.
He's their leading tackler coming into this game. Had a big game last week in their win over Sac State. 1st down from the 43. Bass doing a little dance into the outside, finds a little bit of running room. Short gain on the play and brings up 2nd down.
Wind, not a factor. The flag is limp. We are looking into the sun, but the players aren't. Great conditions. You got to believe the Bobcats with this ground game right now setting up something good. I mean, no huddle, obviously setting them up for something because just giving it to Bass each time.
There's the numbers on Bass for the season, and they're good ones. 2nd and 7 from the 40. Oh, trouble on the snap. Lulay able to fall on it. Cats will keep the ball, but it'll bring up 3rd and long.
The defense for Cal Poly will give you a lot of different looks, and the other look that they will give you is they kind of showed a little bit of at that time. They'll bring about 8 up there and plug every gap. I mean, they weren't going to let the Bobcats run at that time, but they actually weren't going to do anything. Lulay couldn't find a handle on that.
Center quarterback exchange, 3rd and 10 from the 44 for Montana State. 9:30 to go in this opening quarter. Lulay Back to pass, fires over the middle, looks for Murray, and a nice job broken up there by the linebacker. Nothing doing. That brings up 4th down as number 59, Justin Peak, drops back in coverage and able to get in front of the football.
Did a good job. The ball was there. Peak took a peek and then got the hand out here and knocked it away. But again, one play, and that was the bad center exchange for the Bobcats. Put them in a hole, and they don't come out, so they will kick it away.
Kenny Quinn stands back at the 10-yard line, and Travis Lulay back to punt from the 45. Kick is away. Chiquin will field it inside the 15. Tries to get to the outside, ridden out of bounds right near the 20-yard line. And that's where the Mustangs go back to work on offense. So on the Toyo Tire scoreboard, 9:14 to go first quarter. No score from Cal Poly.
At Northwestern Energy, we work hard to educate about the dangers of natural gas.
I've seen this happen before. You smell a strong natural gas odor, ignore it, and then flip a switch, light a candle, or use the phone. Never ignore the warning signs. If you smell natural gas, leave the area immediately, then call us.
Remember, if the odor is strong, don't stay long. Northwestern.
And back at Mustang Stadium, scoreless in the first quarter between Cal Poly and Montana State. We talked about the major renovation going on at this football complex, and maybe we can get a shot of the home side of the bleachers. They're in the process of expanding the field, new press box, donor suites, new lighting, and a Memorial Plaza. Bottom line, Dean, a $21.5 million project. They say they're going to be ready to go next year, and when it is done, it will be a state-of-the-art facility.
Far side across from us will be a double level. They'll have a fancy press box and lots of private boxes on that side, which will basically finish this off and have bleachers on all 4 sides. But right now the far side is just a flat piece of ground over there, and I think it's the first football game I've ever been where we've had a contingent of fans watching the game from a railroad crossing. We just had the Super Chief come through here before kickoff, and now the gates are up, so the fans figure, I guess, whatever. Well, there's nothing to block their view over there.
They got great seats, free admission. As the Amtrak rolled by here right before the start of the game, they tell us that the line goes from San Diego all the way to Seattle, and I'm guessing that's some of the prettiest scenery you can see on by rail.
Yeah, they said it follows the coastline all the way up, right along the ocean. Then you cut inland a little bit up there and really get some great mountain views.
1st and 10 from the 20. Mustangs with their second possession of the game. This game kind of, two heavyweights kind of slugging it out with each other in the early possessions, and now the rehuddle. You look at the Cal Poly team, it's known for being a good defensive unit. They don't have an explosive offense. They're bound about 125 on the ground, another 130 through the air. Total offense right in that 250 mark, so they're not going to do anything too fancy that the Bobcats will see tonight.
Yeah, they are balanced run versus the pass, 129.5 on the ground, 139 a game through the air. So that is just about where they are. And for the Bobcats, they've been giving it all up on the ground at 175 and then 106 through the air. Cal Poly last year, the difference was just keeping the ball on the ground. Adam Martinez, the fullback back this year, just pounded it up. On the Belly series, just kept pounding it up. The Bobcats never shut him down.
And Anthony Garnett, I think they're still trying to figure out just where he fits into their offense. He can do a lot of things. Looking back to pass, fires out there to a wide open receiver, and it's caught by Tolver. And Tolver will give them a first down.
It wobbled a little, but it got where it needed to get. He had a good pair of freshman hands out there on it. Well, he went upstairs to grab it.
Going to work on Hunter out there in the corner, got the single coverage.
Well, they got Hunter on the other side on the big one before. They got Hunter on the opposite side this time.
Tolver, just a freshman out of San Diego, California. Boy, they don't have to go far to find football talent in this state, do they, Dean?
No, they don't. They have basically the whole roster, and they have a good majority of the roster right here from Central California. The Bobcats coming in with 20-some from California, I believe, on the travel squad, give or take a couple.
Ran into Chris Coloni's dad last night as we were here for the Bobcat walkthrough, and he's, of course, out of San Diego, came up to watch his son play, and we'll get to a handful of games. And he was glad to see the Bobcats in the Golden State.
And he had one interesting observation. He knows for sure he's making all the road games. He's not sure about making any games in Bozeman. I don't know if there's a message there or what.
Little trouble getting in and out of Bozeman. Garnett now looking a little option now. The quick pitch, nicely done. Waited right till the last minute, Dean. Made the pitch. And from there, Noble able to turn the corner and get up close to a first down.
Force and Marutis making the tackle for the Bobcats. But a good job that time again on the option. But again, Garnett working to his right and Force playing the quarterback of the ball, and then he recovers to come over and make the tackle also. Ryan Force doing a good job.
Yeah, nice job. He forced the pitch and then made the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 41. 8:15 to go, opening quarter, no score from San Luis Obispo. Garnett to Noble. Noble has some running room. Boy, some good work breaking tackles up over the 45 and a first down for the Mustangs. You know, Dean, last week, Stephen F. Austin came out, went right down the field on their opening drive, just pounding the football right at them. Bobcats made the adjustments, and after that opening series, really able to shut them down. But in this case, Cal Poly going to work again on the ground and paying some dividends.
Cal Poly, again, not doing anything that would surprise the Bobcats, but because of the option and because of a couple of halfway decent passes, and they can roll the pocket for Garnett and all that you keep them honest, which will make that ground game go a little bit better.
Motion man, Garnett will keep it this time, has some running room, turns it up to the 30 and out of bounds. Well, a nice job as he cut it up inside. They had contained, but then able to break it up inside for another first down.
Very mobile. That's one of the things on Garnett. We said maybe questionable as a passer, but very mobile. And also with the good size, the good feet, and he read it very well that time. And he also read Epi King coming up to put the stick on him, so he stepped out of bounds so he wouldn't have to take the hit.
You know, you were right, Dean. When they last saw Cal Poly, they did not face this quarterback. They had Mendy in at quarterback, and so this is a different look for them. And obviously his speed right now presenting some problems. Ball on the 29, another first down. Mustangs threatening here in the first quarter. This time they'll go to the big fullback. He pounds it up inside. Martinez for a couple of yards.
Not much, but again, they're content just to grind it out, and that is one of the strengths of their offense. One thing they have pretty decent speed themselves. We talk about the Bobcats' speed. Well, Cal Poly has pretty decent speed, and both coaches do a great job of getting what is there from their players. That's supposedly the strength of both ball clubs, that whatever is there speed-wise, talent-wise, desire-wise, that both coaches do an excellent job of getting out of their respective players.
Pick up a 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 from the 27. Garnett will operate out of the gun. And again, Noble looks for running room, and this time shut down as he's taken down at the 25-yard line. Short gain of 2 on the play.
And again, Mike Mullahan, the guy coming in under.
And Mullahan's a good one, isn't he?
Oh, he is incredible at 6 feet 205, and that is a little bit smaller than you would expect to see your usual linebacker, but that has worked well for the Bobcats. 3 men up front, 4 linebackers who can run. And I think you've seen the difference this year in the Bobcat defense.
No question. 3rd and 6 now from the 25. Another big play for the Bobcat defense. Martinez goes in motion. Garnett to Mobile, breaks a tackle, and not going to get outside this time. Good job by the Bobcat defense as Grenville comes up from the safety position to make the stop.
He's the Bobcats' leading tackler, and that's why I read it well. That's a tough one to get a quick back like that one-on-one. Toff Grenville, a senior, who had a pick-off last week. Did a good job that time of just picking off Nobles. He stayed right with him. He wasn't buying some of the fakes.
Oh, nice play.
Did a great job of wrapping him up tight.
All right, Nick Coromelis this time will try the field goal. Spot of the football will be from the 31, so we're going to call it a 41-yard field goal attempt for Coromelis.
This should be within his range.
Right at it anyway. Kick is up. Looks like it's got the distance, and no good. So the Mustangs twice inside the 30 are denied. 5:17 to go on the Toyo scoreboard. Still no score between Cal Poly and the Bobcats.
At Northwestern Energy, we work hard to educate about the dangers of natural gas.
I've seen this happen before. You smell a strong natural gas odor, ignore it, and then flip a switch, light a candle, or use the phone. Never ignore the warning signs. If you smell natural gas, leave the area immediately, then call us.
Remember, if the odor is strong, don't stay long. Northwestern Energy, dedicated to serving you.
Curious how the all-wheel drive Ford Freestyle stacks up against Subaru Outback? The answer's only a click away at CompareFord.com. Freestyle has more total interior room and more maximum cargo space than Subaru Outback. And Outback doesn't even offer third-row seating. Plus, Freestyle's thousands less. And just announced, get family plan pricing plus $1,000 clearance cash on remaining 05 Freestyles. So check out CompareFord.com for yourself today. Ford Freestyle. Built for Montana, built for the road ahead.
Whether it's the power and exhilaration of NMRA drag racing, the handling and performance of Speed World Challenge, or the traction and durability of extreme rock crawling at rock, Toyo Tires is there. Knowledge we've gained from our success in racing gives us the ability to build a higher quality, longer lasting tire for your car, truck, or SUV. Innovation through competition. That's our philosophy. Because at Toyo Tires, we are driven to perform.
1st and 10 for the Bobcats on the 24-yard line. And Bass will get the call, has some room up the middle, and takes it up to the 30-yard line. Good hard running by Michael Bass, which will bring up 2nd and short. And Dean, we were looking at and coming out here yesterday looking at this game and looking at the conference that the Mustangs play in, the Great West, and it's almost a collection of teams that at one point or the other have tried to get into the Big Sky Conference. Cal Poly was one team, of course North Dakota State, another school, and Northern Colorado will come into the Big Sky.
South Dakota State, Southern Utah has been trying to get in forever. UC Davis on the outside.
Bass bounces off a tackle and short yardage brings up 3rd down. And, you look at the teams now that are in the Great West Conference, very, very good football programs. We mentioned Northern Colorado will make that move, but, you put those teams together with the Big Sky, and you have a lot of quality 1AA programs.
Well, you have North Dakota State already ranked in the 1AA rankings, national rankings. Cal Poly obviously is in there. The Bobcats are going to see North Dakota State next week. Commissioner Doug Fullerton told us there's a possibility down the highway that maybe you'd see all those teams in a separate division of the Big Sky Conference, East or West.
3rd and 4 for Montana State from the 30, and again, Travis Lulay and Birkeland have trouble on the center quarterback exchange. That's the 2nd time we've seen that, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
That one's on Lulay, I would think. It looked like he tried to pull out of there way too early on that one. And again, that kills off the drive as it normally will. Happened before.
So another punting situation. And Ken Chiquin stands back at his 30-yard line. Travis Lulay will kick it away from the 15. Boy, field position has been owned by the Mustangs. They spent the majority of this first quarter. Low snap. Lulay gets it away. Chiquin fields it, makes a move up over the 40, still on his feet and finally taken down. But again, excellent field position for Cal Poly. 3:17 to go in the opening quarter. And this will be a local break for our Montana stations. Local break. Well, we told you this was a nice place to watch a football game, and Dean, I'm not going to lie to you, this is one beautiful part of California.
Yeah, they were talking today about it being a little bit cooler than normal, a little bit cooler being in the lower 70s, and just beautiful.
Well, we were downtown today in San Luis Obispo, and what a beautiful community that this campus is surrounded by. Lots of nice shops and restaurants and places to eat, and it's been a nice experience here. Well, Garnett has his problems now with the football. That's the third exchange problem we've seen. Let's go down below to Chris Bach.
Well, guys, you did mention that behind me they are in phase one of some major renovations in the stadium. And not only are they adding new seating, but they are going to add a memorial plaza in the southwest corner of this field. And what that plaza is going to honor are the 18 people that were killed in a plane crash back in 1960. 16 players, a booster, and a grad assistant. The field is also being rededicated to be called Memorial Field. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. The loss all the way back to the 29-yard line will bring up 2nd and 21. Dean, it was nice having you being the tour guide with us today, because I know you've been down here a few times, and you kind of took us around this afternoon. We had the afternoon pretty much to ourselves, and boy, what a great community.
It's just beautiful. This might be the flip-flop college campus of America. If you weren't wearing flip-flops today, you were in the minority.
You're right. Boy, that one was snuffed out and drilled back, and another loss on the play. That time, the Bobcat defense doing a great job stopping the option, and that'll back them up even farther.
You can go ahead and try and run that option, but sooner or later the Bobcats are going to figure it out, and this is how you snuff it out when you've got a guy like Toff Grenville. You can figure out what's going to happen, and you screw up the option. There it is. There's the fits, and Toff said, I knew you were going to give it to this guy, and end of option.
Well, the key to that play is to get someone outside to turn it in, and they or string it out, and that time they did a little of both. 3rd and 27 from the 22-yard line, and they'll try nothing fancy here. Noble breaks tackles, got some running room, up over the 40 to the 45, and a great run, but he's still going to be 5 yards short of the first down.
But some missed tackles, that's the key, and this guy can run. Boys and girls, he put up big-time numbers. He averaged over 200 yards a game as a high school senior, with a high game of over 340. He had 28 touchdowns. He had a big week last week, and he is the guy for the next several years for Cal Poly. And you can see that, the missed tackles. Marutas thought he had him. Force thought he had him. Guess what? He almost ran him right into a first down.
Well, a gain of 22 on the play. Ryan Force with the tackle. 4th now and 5 from the 41. And a beautiful kick as it hangs up there. Fair catch signaled for by Force. And he makes it at the 26-yard line. 59 ticks to go, opening quarter. We're scoreless in San Luis Obispo. And back for the final minute of this opening quarter in a scoreless ball game. Bobcats have it 1st and 10 from the 24. Lulay back to pass. Swings it outside and batted down. Boy, nice job by number 59, Justin Peak.
He's the one broke up the pass before, you remember? But he stuck a hand in there, doing a great job. Bobcats have had the ball less than half the amount of time here in the first quarter, as has Cal Poly. That stat cannot persist. The Bobcats are going to get eaten up. Can't have the defense out there all night.
Well, so far, this game has been dominated by the defense of Cal Poly. 2nd and 10 now from the 24. Lulay back to pass again. Looks across the middle. Pulls it down and brought down just over the 25. Maybe 1 on the play. Good coverage in the backfield for the Mustangs.
One thing they do, they will give you lots of looks on defense to try and confuse you. Lulay is as experienced quarterback as you're going to get, and they try to confuse you. And then that time, just ahead of the snap, they start dropping guys into retreat off the line, going back into pass coverage. When he dropped back to throw the ball, guess what? Guys in white were pretty well covered. He had to eat it and run.
They give him 2 on the play, so 3rd and 8. Lulay back to pass again, fires over the middle, and this one is intercepted to the 20. 10, 5, touchdown Cal Poly. Courtney Brown with the interception and the score, and the Mustangs have taken the lead.
Brown read it very well, intended for Chaz Gwynn, and boy, he just stepped right inside and took it away, and there was nobody home to shut him down. Good job by Courtney Brown. That's his 3rd of the season. So he knows where to find the pigskin.
And a great job of running the football, Dean, after he made the interception to get into the end zone for the first score of the night.
Remember, Lulay had 2 last week. Very unusual tonight here in the first quarter. He gets a pick, and it's returned for a TD.
So the kick is underway for the extra point, up and good. 6 seconds to go, opening quarter. And after the interception, the Mustangs have taken a 7-0 lead over Montana State. Partisan crowd on hand for this one. Sold out since Thursday, they tell us. 7,500. Both end zones are full, and they like what they see so far.
They put the word out that there are no tickets. Don't ask for tickets. There are none. If some of the students don't claim theirs, just before kickoff you can get them. Well, you look across there, and we mentioned the contingent on the railroad crossing over there. Well, now they've been joined by a lot of other people in front of the fence. The bad news is they couldn't get tickets. The good news is without any obstruction over there, they get to watch it for free. So,
I'm not so sure that's a bad deal. They're right there at the 25-yard line and getting a great view of the game.
Some of them have their own chairs even they brought.
That's
so
right.
They obviously know, here's the deal. But the construction guys were working today too. I mean, they were doing it. They're staying on it, and they will have it ready for next year. Alex Spanos and his wife have made it possible. Spanos also putting the money into the basketball facility at Sacramento State. Pacific is thankful to him. He's helped out a lot of colleges down here in California, and of course he is the owner of the San Diego Chargers of the NFL.
That's right. Well, you know, we were was watching some of the local news last night, the high school football Friday night out here in California, and when you see the sheer volume of athletes that live out here, I mean, the LA Basin alone, 16 million people, and all of the high schools, it's pretty easy to see why. It's not real tough to go recruiting for high school talent because it is everywhere.
Yeah, there is so the Bobcats will go back on offense. That's the good news. The bad news is why, and that's because the last time picked off for interception for the touchdown.
6 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. And the kick is away, coming down to the 15-yard line. Dominic will take it up over the 20, the 30. Good return to the 32. And still 1 tick remaining here in the first quarter.
Decent field position for the Bobcats. We saw the crowd shot before. It's interesting what some of the folks wore into the ball game tonight, and what will be interesting in the second half is what some of those same people have
wearing
on.
out.
As that sun dips behind the mountain, the breeze picks up a little bit, and we go from in the 70s down to the 50s very quickly.
So Travis will trot him out for the final play of the first quarter in a 7-0 game. Bass the single back, and Travis going to call timeout.
Bobcats have found no rhythm in the first quarter. I mean, they have had bad snaps or fumble snaps from center. One on Lule at least, one of the two for sure. Missed tackles, just not getting the rhythm. One near interception and then the interception for the touchdown. Lule not very happy with himself right now either.
You can see the frustration as he's walking over to talk to Coach Kramer and staff, and that you're exactly right. Rhythm and really nothing going for Montana State. They've had a couple of center quarterback exchange problems, as you mentioned.
We take a look at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center, one of the water slides play of the quarter. Can you guess what it is? I bet you can. Obviously, it'd be from Cal Poly, and that's Noble. Jitterbugs his way through, finds a little bit of a hole, and that's all he needed. And he had two missed tackles before they finally tripped him up. But we talked about that coming in. You got to find him, and you got to find him quickly. Otherwise, he's going to eat you up.
1st and 10 from the 32 after the timeout. And this time Bass will get it, tries to get to the corner, not going to get there. Brought down for maybe a gain of 1 on the play, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter. 7-0 our score. The Mustangs lead Montana State. And this will be a local break for our Montana stations. Tonight's game is brought to you by Four Seasons Property Maintenance, Montana Ford Stores, and by Toyo Tires. As we take a look at beautiful Pismo Beach, Dean was out surfing this afternoon. We had to haul him in and get him dressed and into the game today.
One of the advantages of having big shoes.
Once again, Bass tries to find some running room of the interior of that Mustang defense. Nothing doing.
Plugging the gaps, giving you a shot. You either go wide or you try to throw it. They tried to run it twice, once wide and once inside. Not happening. Now you're looking at another third and extra long.
Brandon Bostic checks in for the Bobcats at tight end. Bass will come out on 3rd and long. Just underway in the second quarter. Cats trying to get something going on offense. Lule rolls out of the pocket, fires out to Chaz Gwynn, and broken up nicely again by Brown. Looked like the ball was going to be there, but at the last minute, Brown jumps in and breaks it up.
Well, you have the same two guys. Justin Peak put the pressure on, and Lule a little late delivering the ball, and then you had the same one, Courtney Brown, coming over, who'd returned the interception for the touchdown. So those two guys, we've talked way too much about them here in the early going.
4th and 11, so Lule again will have to kick it away. Jaquin and Tolver are back at the 32-yard line. Official jumps in now and stops the play. Well, you talk about speed, Dean. You know how speed kills on defense, and right now the Mustang defense just seems too quick for what Montana State's been able to do. 14-13 to go in this second quarter. Mustangs by a touchdown.
There's still time to join the Ford family. Until October 3rd, you can still get the same low prices our employees and their families pay for Ford SUVs. Just announced, get $1,000 clearance cash on 2005 Ford Explorer and Expedition. With clearance cash, you can drive a 4x4 Explorer XLS for just over $22 grand, or an Expedition XLT, now family plan priced at around $31,000. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Montana Ford family to yours. Welcome.
Whether it's the power and exhilaration of NMRA drag racing, the handling and performance of Speed World Challenge, or the traction and durability of extreme rock crawling at U-Rock, Toyo Tires is there. The knowledge we've gained from our success in racing gives us the ability to build a higher quality, longer lasting tire for your car, truck, or SUV. Innovation to competition. That's our philosophy. Because at Toyo Tires, we are driven to perform.
This is it. A new season, a new look, a time to build on the past and create a new future. A time to take all the work, dreams, and promise and bring it to the field. Can Travis Lule orchestrate his offense to the team's third victory in 4 years over the Grizz? Can the revamped defense return to prominence in the Big Sky Conference? Can Mike Kramer hang another conference championship banner in the field house?
Join me, Chris Bach, every week as we track the Bobcats and find answers to these questions on an all-new show, Bobcat Football with Mike Kramer.
Just underway in the second quarter with the Mustangs on top of the Cats 7-0. Dean, a year ago, Cal Poly finished the season 9-2, ranked as high as number 5 in the nation, and did not make the 1AA postseason. A little something to play for this year?
Yeah, I would say, and I think you're getting a preview right here of two potential 1AA playoff teams right here, as I think you can tell by the intensity level here of this ball game that this is two for real 1AA top 20 teams.
Lule kicks it away, and Jaquin will field it over his shoulder at the 25, slips and falls at the 34. Decent field position. Yeah, you look at that season last year, 9-2. They lost a couple of ball games late in the season, and I think maybe strength of schedule had something to do with them not making the postseason. But, and I'm not. You would know this better than I would, Dean. Isn't that a game that the Cats or Grizz thought they might be seeing in the opening round last year?
Yeah, true. And the other thing, with their conference also, they have loaded up and played some other Big Sky teams. Eastern Washington's on the schedule. They already beat Sacramento State. So, hey, they're helping themselves with the scheduling also.
1st and 10 from the 33. This time fakes to Noble and rolls right. Fires downfield. And that is caught and out of bounds. Wow, a good play on defense, I thought, by Ryan Force.
Went right over the top of him. He was there right over the top, and so much for any questions that might have been out there regarding the throwing capability of Anthony Garnett, because the 6'1", 210 senior launched the big one there.
Jonah Russell on the receiving end, and you'll see Force kind of step right in front of this ball, look like he might have a chance to pick it off. Camera guy bid on that one, didn't he?
Well, Nick Marutis bid on it big time. He thought he had the ball carrier. A great job of ball handling that time by Garnett.
So another first down all the way to the 36. Garnett keeps the ball up over the 35. He trips and falls.
He's done that twice, rolling to his left, stumble, fumble, bumble, and fall down. But the Bobcats thus far in the ball game, 1.7 yards per play average. They've fumbled twice. On third down tries, they're 0 for 4.
Well, and it shows you the importance of a good running game. Mustangs came out, quickly established the running game, and that just opens up play action. You get your receivers behind the secondary. Russell coming into this game, 4 catches for 82 yards. You do the math on that, that's 20 yards a catch, and he had a long one there. So 2nd and 7 after the 3-yard pickup. Here's Garnett, gives it to, now keeps the football, now fires across and it's caught.
There's the benefit of the option. You keep them honest, they've got to play it. And he decides, well, let's see, here's my next option. He had time, he wobbled it, but it was caught, obviously. And now here they are looking at another potential scoring opportunity. But again, doing a good job of reading the defense, hesitates enough, and then he just stops and lays it out there. It wasn't a thing of beauty, but it worked. Top Grenfell over to make the stop for the Bobcats, but here you go with Cal Poly with an offensive scoring threat.
Yeah, he could have gone a couple of ways. Holmes was wide open as well. 1st and 10 from the 18. Mustangs threatening again. Garnett this time will give to Noble. Noble cuts it right back up the middle, has running room. And Noble, not the biggest man on the football field, but just hammering away and takes it down inside the 10-yard line.
Left a couple of guys standing there in concrete. If you look at it, he just jitterbugged him a little bit, and he froze him. And that's all he needed to get by him. There's a reason why he gained all those yards in high school. He has some moves. Cuts it up and gets down. Top Grenfell there again to fall on top of him. But this is a young man that averaged 8 yards a carry in high school football his senior year here in California.
Well, he's got 63 on 10 tonight. Not bad. 1st and goal from the 8. 12 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. Straight up the middle is Martinez. Keeps his big feet moving, and that's inside the 5 and close to the goal line. Martinez, the fullback, with a good job of running straight north and south.
Yeah, he's not what you would call a great runner, taking nothing away from him, but he's 6'1", he's 235, he's from right up the road in Paso Robles, and he used to be a linebacker, so he's a tough guy. He knew enough that time. Wrap up the football, duck your head. He did it to the Bobcats last year in Bozeman for 87 yards, so he has seen the Bobcats before. He's just a basic, bang it out ball carrier.
Cal Poly knocking on the door again. Up the middle is Martinez. This time hit right at the goal line and push back. That'll be 3rd down. Nice job that time by the front wall of the Bobcats to keep him out of the end zone.
Cal Poly themselves 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. However, this is a little bit shorter than they've been looking at before, to put it mildly.
Papachin on the tackle, along with Marutis. 3rd and 1. Boy, they punch one in here, Dean, and 14-0 looks pretty good for the home team in the 2nd quarter. Coach Ellerson got his team ready to play tonight. It's a big game for both teams. You mentioned at the top of the show that for 1AA, this was the matchup of the day.
Yeah, Sports Network said this is it, and I believe this is the marquee game. I mean, this is the real deal. This is 2 teams that are going to do well in their respective conferences, and 2 teams that could both end up in the 1AA playoffs. You saw a good team that was picked to finish 3rd in the Southland last week, and Stephen F. Austin. The Bobcats blew them up. Sacramento State of the Big Sky Conference came in here last week, and Cal Poly just whipped up on them ferociously. But again, each week, what we're seeing each week is a better indicator of how good you are, what you're going to do than was the week before. And that's just the way the Bobcats literally going up the stairs.
Nick Marutis is coming off the field. He's injured. We'll try to get a report on the injury, what that injury is. At any rate, it's 3rd and goal from the 1 for the Mustangs. Home crowd on their feet. Martinez in the backfield. Garnett calls his own number. No signal yet. And there it is. Touchdown Mustangs. Anthony Garnett calls his own number, takes it over from a yard out, and the lead is now 13-0 in favor of the Mustangs.
Well, when you're 6'1" and about 210, you can do that. I mean, also give some credit to the offensive line. But again, the Mustangs controlling the football. I mean, as the late Hank Stram would say, they just matriculated it down the football field. And they certainly did that.
So in for the extra point is Coromelis. Ball is down, kick on the way, and good. 11:05 to go in the 2nd quarter. Cal Poly leads at 14-0. We pause now for these breaks from your local television stations. Bobcats staring at a 14-point deficit early in the second quarter after the short touchdown run by Barnett to up the margin here with 11:05 to go in the second quarter. And here's the score again, Dean. Is nothing fancy there.
Just take the ball, just take one step to your right, go behind center, boom, you're right in for 6.
All right, if you're the coach, what do you do right now? When you come out for this possession for Montana State, obviously you got to get something going.
You just play your game.
Right.
Bobcats have found no rhythm. Just settle down and do what you can do, what you should be doing.
Looks like Murray driven back to the end zone, and he'll stay put. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. And you're right, Dean. I mean, they have been completely absent of any offense so far.
Well, if you look at your Montana Ford Store scoring drive, Cal Poly had 7 plays, took 67 yards, and only 3 minutes to get it in, and they've averaged 7.3 yards per play. Cal Poly to the Bobcats 1.7. Does that tell you why the scoreboard says 14-0? I think it gives you a hint.
Yeah.
But there's no need to panic. One touchdown by the Cal Poly defense, one by the offense.
Well, some good running that time by Bass straight up the middle. That's good 8-yard gain on the play.
That's the way the Bobcats started out with the football tonight, but Cal Poly again with that defense that gives you a lot of different looks. And as we said before, even with an experienced guy like Travis Lulay, they're going to do all they can to confuse him.
Mike Brown, a split wide to the right. He's getting his first start tonight for Javon Miller. And again, Bass keeps the ball. Nice move at the line of scrimmage and gets up close to the first down. It looks like the field's kind of slippery, Dean. We've seen a lot of guys slipping and falling out there tonight.
I think when you see the home team, of course, being Cal Poly, slipping and sliding, if they can't adjust and aren't ready for it, obviously you wouldn't expect much more of the Bobcats. But there's the quick feed of Bass. Obviously one of his strengths, but he couldn't quite get his feet underneath him, but he got him enough for a first down.
Shotwell able to bring him down. There's the leading tackler on the Mustang team. He had 12 coming into this game. Chris Gogong, their Buchanan finalist. Haven't heard much from him tonight. 1st and 10 from the 30. Lulay looks, now keeps it, and is ridden out of bounds after the short gain.
And again, there's the Mustang defense. That could have been a coverage sack if it had been any other quarterback, but Lulay knew what he wanted to do, but there were no white jerseys who could get open, and of course his experience steps up and didn't try to force it in after being picked off once for a touchdown and almost picked off the second time.
Brandon Bostic now checks in for the Bobcats in at tight end. Out of Missoula, Big Sky, all 4 tight ends for the Bobcats from Montana, homegrown players. Bass will take it, cuts it up inside. Good running room as he takes it up over the 40-yard line, and that should be more than enough for another first down.
Well, the Bobcats starting to establish, or at least trying to establish, the running game, which will make the passing game go, but nothing fancy, just a pitch out to him, and he reads it very well and starts wide and cuts it back up inside. Good job there. Peter Jensen, sophomore out of La Costa, California, a good job of making a little more room for him. And Bass from the University of Hawaii, one to play one. A young man coming back home to his home state. He's from Corona, California.
Another first down for the Cats from the 43. Bass again with the ball, left side. This time a short gain driven out of bounds. But again, as you said, Dean, don't go away from the game plan.
Yeah. Make it work. Elliot Barnhart out there. You saw him in motion, the tight end, trying to help make a little bit of room out there. But the Bobcats inside and outside and doing it with Bass, trying to get some work out of him to make it happen.
11 carries now for 43 yards. Picks up 3 on that play. Randy Samuel with the stop. 2nd and 7 from the 45. Under 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lulay flushed out of the pocket. Keeps it, gets a block out there by Brown, turns the corner inside the 50. Makes something out of nothing, brings up 3rd and short. Nice job by Brown out there as he made a nice block to give Spring Travis for a short gain.
Yeah, you watch Cal Poly this time as they try it again to put the pressure on Lule coming right up the gaps, and you can do that, except you got to remember that he has really good speed, and he'll read it well. He won't panic, and that time he just took it to the outside, picked up a couple of yards to get him in a 3rd and short, which they have been very good on 3rd at 0 for 4 thus far.
Shotwell on the tackle, 3rd and 2 from midfield. Big play for the Cats. Lule keeps it and turns the corner, stretches. Did he get it? Going to be very close.
Well, the official was less than generous with the spot.
First down.
Lule knew where he needed to get.
Well, I think that last extension with the football, Dean, is what got him the first down. And let's go down to the field with Chris Bach.
Guys, injury update or lack thereof. Nick Marutis on the goal line stand last series appeared to have injured himself, but I talked to head trainer Rob Hicks. May have been a shoulder injury. He said he's just fine. There's no speculation. Tested his mobility, doing push-ups, so Marutis should be fine. We'll look for him in the game next series. Back to you guys.
Good news for the Bobcats, so this certainly will need him as the game wears on. 1st and 10 from the 46. Lule, plenty of time, fires across the middle, and that time just overshoots Murray, who was wide open on the crossing pattern.
That's again of trying too hard, forcing it in there, throwing too hard. He has a great touch, not much of a touch on that one, but again, encouraging. The O-line gave him some time.
Yeah, and Murray had the big game last week, Offensive Player of the Week in the Big Sky Conference. 141 yards receiving, couple of touchdowns. But so far, the Mustang defense has been tough. 2nd and 10 from the 46 on the incomplete pass. This time Lule pulls it down. Quarterback draw goes nowhere. And Gokong, the big fella in the middle, makes the stop, no gain.
Yeah, you said we hadn't heard much about him tonight. Well, guess what? At 6'3", 265, number 2 in the Buck Buchanan race last year. And one of the prime contenders for it this year, and he's in there. How do you do? Don't forget about me. I'll be playing all night. But that was called all the way, but guess what? Cal Poly knew exactly, or had a pretty good idea of what was going on.
Loss of 3, so 3rd and 13 from the 49. Winding down to the 7-minute mark here in the opening half. Lule steps up in the pocket, dances around, finally gets it complete up over the 30-yard line to the 25, and a first down for the Bobcats. Boy, what a great catch out there by big number 95, Elliot Barnhart, the tight end. And that's good for a first down.
Yeah, he had a good one last weekend. Guess what? And that's also one of the abilities of Travis Lule. You see him coming up from behind. He's just about a step away, and he knuckles it out there. About the best you can say, but a good catch and run by Barnhart. 6'4", 242. Only 1 catch last year. He had 3 last week. That's his first tonight.
Big fella from Broadus, one of those Powder River Hawks. There's Bass, cuts it up inside a running room to the 20.
That's a case where not a very good handoff probably helped him. It turned into kind of more of a delay, almost a draw type. Bass getting a workout.
Well, he sure is.
But I think Bass might have had some room to run in.
Curiel gets the stop, along with Shotwell, who's been very busy tonight.
But the Bobcats, of course, if they can start getting into 2nd and short, but I mean, you can see that there was enough room there. Didn't need any of that heavy equipment from the far side of the field to move anybody out of the way. The hole was already there.
This time, Bass goes in motion. Lule looks across the middle, has a man wide open. It's Bass. 5, goal line, and they're going to say touchdown, Montana State. Wow, that time they swung Bass out of the backfield. Lule hit him on the crossing pattern across the middle, and then he stretches out to score the touchdown.
21 yards, and that second effort is what did it. They had him. He was bound and determined. Look, I didn't come here tonight not to score, so here's one for all the folks at home who are in the stands tonight. Good job by the youngster.
And that's just great individual effort after the catch, Dean.
Great second effort, and this has been the Bobcats' longest drive, obviously, of the ball game.
And extra point is good.
Went through like a sausage, but it counts.
5:58 to go, second quarter. The lead is cut in half. Cal Poly by a touchdown.
Spring, summer, winter, and fall. 4 Seasons does it all. Professional in parking lot and landscape maintenance, integrity, dependability, knowledge, service, asphalt rejuvenation to sprinkler irrigation, tree and turf care to snow and ice liability management. Progressive, protective, curative, creative. We protect your investments. Hardscape, softscape, landscape, you can escape when you call 4 Seasons. Total Property Maintenance, serving all Montana and Idaho markets. One call does it all. 1-866-606-2467.
With the hack attacks, as I call them, it's become very, very important for a company to keep secure data. TransAria takes care of all of that.
All of our data is a security issue. TransAria has been able to provide us with an IP solution where we're running secure VPN tunnels.
Max Media of Montana is taking Montana TV to the max. Max Media of Montana's statewide television group offers you maximized viewing choices with more stations and top programming in each market. Our Montana News Network delivers comprehensive local news, weather, and sports from around our state. The Montana Sports Network puts you in the stadium with Montana State Bobcat football broadcasts. We are Montana. We are Max Media.
Back at Mustang Stadium after the touchdown pass from Travis Lulay to Michael Bass. We got us a ball game, Dean, 14-7.
Yeah, we do, and that was Bass's first catch of the night, all the way in for 6. As Lulay again with a decent time, but again laying it up there, and again wobbling a little bit on him, but second effort by Bass, who just packed it all the way in, knowing full well that he was going to get it in. 4 Seasons replay with a good look at that one. By the way, I think the time of possession on the Bobcats for that drive was just about equal to all of their possessions in the first half. As you take a look at the Montana Ford stores, 12 plays, 80 yards, 507. Yeah, it was pretty close. They spent just about as much time with the football in that drive as they had in the whole game to that point.
Tyler Bolton gets the short kick that comes down at the 10-yard line. Ball is mishandled back there at the 10 and taken down. Good break for the Bobcats as Russell fielded it, then brought down inside the 10-yard line.
And he was rather nonchalant, too, going over to get that. Hey, that's a live ball, and you don't think the Bobcats are coming, so here you go. They've had great field position, Cal Poly. That's been one of their things here in the first half, and now this will be easily their worst field position.
And Coach Kramer talking to his kicker, and obviously likes the results of that play. 1st and 10 from the 11 now.
Said that was almost half a touchback.
This is by far the worst field position of the night as Garnett fires out there, and this one is caught, dropped. Now they say incomplete pass intended for Tolver.
I'll tell you what, Epi King almost had a shot at 6 right there.
You know, if he goes for the ball instead of the tackle,
right,
Dean, I think you're right. I think he's got 6.
If he's looking at the ball, not saying that he wasn't looking at the ball, but not totally focused, he might have been able to step right in front and step off the 10 to the end zone.
Take a look there at the Bobcats sidelines, talking to those big offensive linemen, letting them know what they want to do when they get the football back. 2nd and 10 for Garnett and the Mustangs. They have the football with under 6 to go in the second quarter. Garnett again looks to pass, fires long and deep, and they try to go the out and up route, and defense nicely as Rasmus Barden, the intended receiver, had no chance to pull that one down.
Boy, he is a good-looking receiver, though, and that is a major league target out there with him. As big as he is, redshirt freshman is 6'6", 220, volleyball player in high school, track guy, obviously a heck of a football player, but that is a big target down there on the field pregame warm-ups.
Yeah, there's his numbers on the night for Anthony Garnett, 4-6 for 93 yards. Pretty good so far. Big 3rd down for the Bobcat defense. Yeah, and you got Fuller out there who's about $165 and a freshman trying to cover someone that tall and athletic.
Yeah, Garnett took a look and took another look, and Then he looked at the sidelines and said, we have better have a timeout to talk this one over. This is where you don't get too cute if you're Cal Poly, and the Bobcats might want to gamble just a little bit, but here's your opportunity now for the Bobcat defense to maybe come up with a big one. The Cal Poly defense has come up with the one big one tonight that got them the touchdown. But
we talked, Dean, about the new football stadium, the $21.5 million stadium, and there it is. That's what it'll look like when it's complete, with the new press box facilities, the suites. They're having all kinds of stuff there. And Alex Spanos, as you mentioned, the owner of the San Diego Chargers, one of many alums that's really done a lot to put back into the program, and that is going to be very pretty when it's done.
And there's what it looks like right now. Okay.
Got a little work to do.
Well, there's a visual for you right there. I know they're happy to have Alex Spanos give them the money and get it done and put his name on it, because one of their other alums, Weird Al Yankovic, it just wouldn't sound right that you're playing your football games at Weird Al Yankovic Stadium. I don't know that,
Weird Al's house.
And so far, John Madden, another alum, has only offered to donate, I think, a 6-pack of pork chops. So.
There's the rushing yards now. Montana State finally getting some work done on the ground, largely from Michael Bass, who's been the workhorse. He's accounted for the only touchdown. 3rd and 10, big play for both teams. Garnett inside his 5, fires out here, broken up nicely. And there's a late flag coming in, and they're gonna flag Hunter, who broke nicely on the play, but they say he came in a little too late.
Well, that's the one where the replay guys earn their money, but the ball was there. He's coming back. Don't think he would have caught it anyway, because he was trying to catch it off his pads. But as you take a look at it on the Four Seasons replay, Garnett, number 1, has plenty of time. Well,
it's close.
I might argue that it was a tie. You take another look at it. Ball is there. Oh, boy. Well, official standing from the front taking a look, and his judgment call was pass interference.
Tonight's attendance just over 8,000, so they got the sellout that they had promised they would on Thursday. 1st and 10 from the 22. Garnett going long and deep, got a man wide open at the 40, and that's Tolver, who got behind his man, and Garnett laid it out there nicely for a huge gain.
Back-to-back plays, time Hunter. That you could have signaled for a fair catch on that rainbow, as number 1 Garnett had enough time, but he just laid it out there, and there is a major league gap in the coverage. Had the ball been laid out there a little bit longer, Tolver would have been waltzing into the end zone. He's made 2 catches for 56 yards now.
Single coverage, so the gain is all the way to the 35 of Montana State and a 1st down.
You had him buried.
Yeah.
You had him in 3rd and long, a chance to get the football back.
Instead, the drive stays alive, and here we go back the other way as Noble, this time taken down in the backfield. Great job defensively by Montana State.
Toff Grenfell jumping in there early. I mean, he figured it out and went low on, well, that's almost a contradiction, how you go low on a guy that's 5'6". Anything you do, you think he'd be low, but he got lower, I guess you'd say, and tipped him over.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11 from the 36. Well, a chance really for either team to say something about this football game as we're under 5 in the 2nd quarter. Garnett operates out of the gun this time. Rolls to his left, looks downfield, and this time he's going to go down.
Clive Lowe over the top. Aaron Pappage, youngster out of Great Falls, on the bottom. And that is a big one, because forget field goal tries if they can stick them one more time. You take a look at that as the Bobcats. Clive Lowe, he caught him out of the right side of his eye, but he didn't see from the left side coming up in underneath Pappage.
Well, King and Lowe did a good job too with that initial surge to keep that line moving forward and put the pressure on Garnett, and then Pappage able to come in for the tackle. So 3rd and 16, the loss back to the 43.
Cal Poly 1 for 4 on 3rd down.
And this is a big one. Garnett keeps it, short gain, not much there. And again,
Clive Lowe on the bottom.
Yep.
Nick Marutis on the top. So obviously Marutis as Chris Bach told us, is okay.
Lowe, the leading tackler for MSU last week's win over Stephen F. Austin. That brings up a 4th down. And this time, the Mustangs will kick it away. Tim Chiquin back at midfield.
He's one of the best, 48.3 yards per punt average, one of the best in 1AA.
He's going to angle it to the right side. Fair catch called for. They'll let it bounce, and this one gets inside the 5-yard line. Wow. That's where the kicking game, Dean, can be so effective. And that time Chiquin just angled it for the right side, down inside the 5, and a long way to go for the Bobcats.
Well, you're supposed to let anything go over your head if you're down there at the 10. Yeah, the Bobcats tried to slow up the coverage by Cal Poly, signaling fair catch, but he knew what he was doing, hung that baby up there. Giggling a little bit. Yeah, put one over, guys. Guess what? Just the way I planned it.
Just the way I called it.
So the Bobcats pinned deep in a hole. And next week, look at that.
The Bison of North Dakota State roll into Bozeman to take on Montana State. 1 o'clock kickoff from Sales Stadium. You can catch that game right here on the Montana Sports Network.
It used to be one of the all-time great rivalries, the MSU and North Dakota State, and getting renewed.
Here's the give up the middle. I believe that's pass up over the 5. Not much there. But if you're the Mustangs, you might want to think about using your remaining couple of timeouts. They have 1 left to get the ball back in good field position. Just under 3 to go. Yeah, North Dakota State, so surprised when they made the jump to 1AA, only because North Dakota did not. And the Bison-Sioux rivalry every bit as intense at the D2 level as the Cats-Grizz are in Montana. But 1 jump to D1, 1AA, North Dakota opted to stay as a Division II.
And I think the bigger surprise, or as big a surprise, that North Dakota State's already at number 12 at the 1AA.
Here's Lulay laying it out there, incomplete.
Got 2 defenders back there also for Cal Poly. They're not going to get beat on the big one. At least the defense looking for that. You may come underneath if you're lucky. But you talk about them taking timeouts. Well, you get an incomplete pass, and that stops the clock. So the Bobcats on a 3rd down, which they've only been 2 for 6 on conversions. Right now, you hold them, and guess what? You're going to get that football back inside the 50.
Lulay just 3 of 9 for 44 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 3rd and 8 from the 7. He'll throw from the end zone, fumble on the play, and there it is. Touchdown Mustangs. Travis Lulay coughs up the football in the back of the end zone, and the Cal Poly defense falls on it for the score.
2 touchdowns for the Cal Poly defense. Well, both ball clubs, I tell you what.
Finished 2nd in the balloting for the Buchanan Award last year, finalist again this year. And what a huge play that time as the Mustangs score with 2:18 to go in the 2nd quarter.
Looked like some indecision also, and you don't have time down there for any moments of indecision.
Cora Melisson for the extra point, up and good. Big play for the Mustangs as they increase the margin to 21-7.
Well, if you want to find any good news, I'll give you that in a minute as you take a couple of looks here on the 4 Seasons replay. How the Bobcats let it happen. I mean, Lulay's there, pressure coming up the middle, and he sees it, and the ball is just pecked out of there by Wes Pryor, and Gokong is the guy. You look at it, Lulay had no time and then wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And by then, Wes Pryor had snuck in there, knocked it out of there, and Gokong falls on it. But 2:18 the Bobcats have first half, so they'll get the ball back. That's the good news. And then the next set of good news, they get the ball back to start the second half.
That's right. They deferred, and we'll get the football back. And that's a big, big turnover for Montana State.
Okay. Here's what happens when you get there, punch it out, 14 on 14, and you get that hand in there, you knock it away, you hang on to the quarterback, and the ball is free, and Gokong coming in there with the pressure, and he falls on it. for 6. So 2 touchdowns by the Cal Poly defense. Talking about the offense coming in, worried about the offense. Well, Cal Poly defense put up 14.
Coromelis will kick it away from the 35. This one again deep into the end zone. This one will be brought out to the 15. Murray maybe gets to the 20-yard line, right at the 20, where Montana State will have 2:17 remaining in the second. Don't count the Cats out just yet.
No, but you need something positive.
Yeah.
You know, they found their rhythm on the drive, obviously, that got them 6. But again, that last time.
Talked about Chris Gokong, their outstanding player for the Mustang defense. He finished second in the Buchanan Award to his teammate, Jordan Beck, who won it last year. And he, again, is a finalist this year. Montana State with those 2 big turnovers. So far, the Mustangs, error-free football. This time they'll go straight ahead. A short gain. And
we talked about Beck. He's with the Falcons, but also in their media guide, they got a full page on him, the color page on the back cover. And, I mean, he's gone. That's somewhat unusual that he's with the Falcons of Atlanta now. You think they would have had maybe Gokong or something on there.
1:55 to go in the second.
Don't panic. Just be cool. Run your offense. Try and establish something. Get a little bit of rhythm. And you've got 2 full quarters to go after this.
Lule, across the middle, has Murray wide open and can't hang on to the football. And I'm not sure if Murray maybe didn't hear some footsteps as he was wide open at the 35, but unable to hang on to the ball.
Well, as we've said before, you have a full house here, all right? Bobcats saw the big numbers at Oklahoma State, full house last week, full house tonight, but you got moms and dads and aunts and uncles and friends and neighbors, okay? And you want to show them all what you can do. Hey, calm down, find a little bit of rhythm, play your game.
There's the numbers on Travis today, just 3 of 10 for 44 yards. Facing a 3rd and 7. Lule, across the middle. And Miller's whacked. Are they going to call it an incomplete pass? Yes, they do. And that was intended for Brown. Mike Brown, the intended receiver, filling in for Javon Miller tonight, and had his hands on the ball and took a pretty good shot. That's going to bring up a 4th down, and the Mustangs, Steen, with a chance here to maybe add some more.
Brown again, as I just said, out of Lakewood, California. So you got friends and neighbors there, and this is the big time now. He's a redshirt freshman. They're going to come and sting you when the ball gets there. So hang on. This is your moment.
Lule back to kick on 4th and 7. Still time. Minute 32 to go, second quarter. Travis will kick it away. Chiquin is there at the 40. He fields it cleanly. Up over midfield to the 48, so a short field now for the Mustangs to work with. Still with a timeout. 1:24 to go on the clock. And right now, if you're Montana State, you're thinking absolutely have to have a stop here to get into the locker room.
And if you're Cal Poly, you're thinking ahead for the second half and knowing fully well that the real Travis Lule could change into his cape in the locker room and show up the second half, because you're winning 21-7. You've done it with the defense, actually. But when he shows up, and he will, it's a different look.
First down play is Garnett looks out to his right, has a man wide open, and it's complete right near the first down marker.
And that's in front of Kym Hunter. Gave him a little bit of room, came up to make the stop.
Good catch by Holmes. He lips off. And Dean, here's the play that led to the 3rd touchdown of the night for the Mustangs.
Now this will be the play of the quarter. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center play of the quarter. And this is what led to it, as Lule wanted to throw, but different idea by the defenders. Pryor got in there, stopped him.
And Garnett this time. Pass is incomplete.
Bobcats were sending Epi King in there to get in his face, and he did. Had to hurry it up a little bit.
Russell, the intended receiver, brings up 2nd and 10.
But Cal Poly through the first half has averaged over 7 yards per play. The Bobcats with their drive got theirs up to almost 4. Time of possession a little more even, but still about a 4-minute differential there also. Favor of Cal Poly.
2nd and 10 for Garnett. Fires across the middle and almost picked off. Nice job that time by Toff Grenfell. Steps in front to bat it away.
Boy, he's mad at himself. He knew it. He read it. He got over there where he's supposed to and couldn't grab a hold.
Brings up 3rd and 10 now from the 38.
And Cal Poly's only 2 out of 6 on 3rd down conversions themselves, so they're not doing a great job of that.
Yeah, they've been opportunistic. They've taken advantage of some big plays and a couple of turnovers, and those have led to touchdowns. So we'll see if Montana State can hold here on a 3rd and 10 from the 38. Garnett, quick drop, lays it up there, and this one is almost picked off. And again, nice job defensively from Montana State. Ball intended for Anthony Randolph.
And you got a flag. You talk about fair catch rule on that one. I'm not sure what kind of deal that was. But he lobbed that one almost straight up.
You know, pass interference on the Bobcats. Boy, that's another big play for the Mustangs that will, more important, keeps that drive going with still a minute to go in the 2nd quarter.
And again, another terrible pass. It probably wouldn't have been caught.
They called interference on Fuller, Andre Fuller. Didn't see where he was in the play, but at any rate, it's a 1st down all the way to the 22, and you can see head coach Mike Kramer not a happy man right now. As the Mustangs keep this drive going, Garnett again lobs it out there in the end zone, and this time almost picked off, and they're going to call pass interference on Fuller again.
I'm not sure which went higher that time, the penalty flags or the ball. But that's up. He throws that up where it's coming almost straight nose down first.
Well, you know, they almost were exclusively running the football in the 1st quarter, Dean, and now here in the 2nd quarter, he's been up in the air almost every play, especially late in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at the Four Seasons property maintenance replay. He just lays it up there. Now, where's the pass interference there on your defender?
Automatic 1st down.
Well, Barden basically pushed him out of the way. Of course, the other thing was he wasn't looking at the ball.
Right.
They'll flag you a lot for that. You got to be looking at the ball, but he held up.
So he impeded his progress to the ball. Is that what they call when you're not looking back at it?
He wasn't looking back for the ball.
1st and goal from the 7. Time running out 2nd quarter. Quick pass out there intended for Barden, incomplete. 2nd and goal.
You got a 6'6" receiver, and turning around Fuller, who's at 5'10". You think a little alley-oop might be just as easy. But again, penalties. Now you give up another score to Cal Poly right now, and you have you not only dug yourself a hole, you started pulling some of the dirt in on yourself. Not a very pretty sight right now. But penalties. I mean, penalties have given them this field position.
2nd and goal. Into the end zone, and another flag comes in, broken up by the Bobcats in the end zone, and we'll see what the call is there.
I think the one official is going to tell the other the ball was deflected, and so there will be no penalty. That's what I'm getting from the preliminary signal. That once the ball's deflected, it's fair game. Anybody can go for it. And I think that's what it is.
No foul on the play. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is no foul.
The biggest decision for the officials, though, today actually has been how do we get into the dressing room. They were wandering up and down the field here early today, and no one had a key to where they could go and dress. And they're, each one of them to a man, they're scouring all parts of the stadium here, trying to find somebody who was from Cal Poly who could get them in there so they could get into the striped shirts and white pants. And obviously they finally got in there. Unless this is some other guys.
They may have a change in their vans, but by golly, they got out there, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
That's a timeout here on the field. 49 seconds still to go here in the 2nd quarter. Another big play upcoming for both teams.
This is easily the, well, what would you say, the worst first half of football for the Bobcats in the young season.
No
and I
question.
would say that not as the, well, maybe it's the bad news, but probably some good news because they can play so much better. Granted, they are down 21-7, but with their capabilities, they're definitely not anywhere near out of this one.
Let's go down on the field with Chris Bach.
Thanks, guys. Well, preview for halftime, I'm going to have Coach Rich Ellerson of the Mustangs on the way in and Coach Mike Kramer on the way back. We'll talk to both coaches about the performance in the first half, plus we're going to hear from Tremaine Murray. Back to you guys.
All right, so you take a look at what's coming up at halftime, highlights, stats, interviews, starting with Rich Ellerson, the head coach, and there you see the home stands for.
See that blinking light? That's us. That's where we are right there.
That's the ever-maddening light that won't
under
stay
that
on.
blinking light. They've tried to fix it, but that's where we are, right under the blinking lights. 2 dim bulbs right here, boys and girls. Hi, Mom.
Fix the light,
there
yeah.
You go.
There we are.
Right. See, there's the blinking light.
You
right
see
there.
the one light in this
That's
entire
it.
press row is right in front of us.
Why is that blinking light over me? There must be a message there somewhere.
3rd and goal from the 7 is Garnett. Keeps his number, cuts inside, and touchdown Mustangs. Anthony Garnett calls his own number, and with 43 seconds to go in the half, takes it in for the score, and all of a sudden, it's a 27-7 lead for Cal Poly. Just like that.
Lots of breaks for Cal Poly. That's the bad news for the Bobcats. The good news for Cal Poly, they have been able to capitalize on every one of them.
Yep. Yeah, it's one thing to get the turnovers. It's quite another to turn them into touchdowns, but they've certainly done that in the first half. Cormelis on for the extra point, up and good.
Well, you take a look at it, and it's pretty much basic football and what Cal Poly has done here all through the first half. You got the big QB. He knows how to make a little bit of room. He knows who to follow. In that case, it was Will Haynes III, and he just goes behind him, holds onto the football, and leaps over the stack, and thank you very much. I'll take 6 if you don't mind.
Nicely done. That drive aided by the 2 pass interference calls that kept the drive going on 3rd down plays. And so now the Bobcats really find themselves in a major hole. And I'm thinking in the 3rd quarter we're going to get a heavy dose of James Noble when the 3rd quarter starts, as the Mustangs have built this 3-touchdown lead.
Well, remember, one of the dangers always of getting a big lead like this early in a game of this magnitude is that sometimes your players, you would hope not, but there's that tendency to let down just a little bit, figure we got this in the bag and now we'll show them how it's done. Meanwhile, your other guys are gritting their teeth and saying, wait a minute, we're a lot better than this. So you might have a little momentum swing of a different variety in the second half. And if you're a Bobcat, you better.
Yep, Cormelis to kick it away from the 35. And this one again hammered into the end zone. And Murray this time will bring it out. Up over the 10 to the 15, whacked at the 17. And oh, did he take a shot at the end of that play.
Well, you have 39 seconds. Can you get it done? Get something. I mean, you need something positive to go in with, something to build on. And you try to wipe out the first half, but you get the big thump right there. Hello.
Special teams. How many times do coaches talk about special teams, how they can turn a ball game? That was Wes Pryor who put the lick on Murray. 1st and 10 from the 18. 39 seconds to go. And Lulay this time just keep it on the ground. And I think right now it's time to circle the wagons, head to halftime, and talk about this 3-touchdown deficit the Cats will stare at as we start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that is a scary part of it. But, again, remember, this is the offense that put up plenty of points last week against Stephen F. Austin, okay? This is a good offense. This offense is capable of the quick strike, the quick score. And obviously they're going to need some of that. But you have 2 quarters, so play your game, have the defense make a couple plays, and, hey, you don't know what can happen.
That'll do it for the first half. And there you see the score. The Mustangs from Cal Poly big over the Bobcats of Montana State at halftime as they lead it by a score of 28-7, capitalizing on turnovers there in the first half. And that was the story. I think the storyline, Dean, in that first half is the Mustangs being able to take advantage of some key turnovers by MSU in that first half.
Yeah, they were opportunists, to say the least, and they made it happen. Penalties hurt the Bobcats, but the big pick, I think, initially for the return for the touchdown, and then a couple of balls that were knocked away when the Bobcats were trying to get some rhythm and get it rolling, and they came up with the big plays of getting the hand in there and knocking that away. But I think penalties were one of the big keys, and you hate to have that happen, but that was the way those big rainbows being chucked up there by Garnett, and the Bobcat defenders misplaying their position.
Well, the tone of the game certainly changed. They went from the running game to the passing game, and there's the lead. Let's go down below with Chris Bach.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Rich Ellerson. Coach, you have the Bobcats number. You beat them the last 6 times you've played them. Do you feel like history plays a part in games like this?
No, frankly, I don't. Every time you wind this thing up, it's a brand new football game, and we got a brand new half coming up because they've made their share of plays here. We've been fortunate, we've been opportunistic, but we got a lot of football to play, and they're dangerous.
Now, obviously, the defense, the story in the first half, 2 scores. You've been able to contain Travis Lulay. 44 yards is all he has. Could you be any happier with the way your team's been playing?
Well, I'm encouraged about what's happened so far, but there's a lot of things out there that are just waiting to happen, and we need to get ahead of the curve and fix some things before they find them, because there's some opportunities for them, and we've got to, as I say, we've got to get ahead of the curve and get to work.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. We're at halftime in San Luis Obispo. It's all Mustangs. They lead it over Montana State 28-7.
Whether it's the power and exhilaration of NMRA drag racing, the handling and performance of Speed World Challenge, or the traction and durability of extreme rock crawling at U-Rock, Toyo Tires is there. The knowledge we've gained from our success in racing gives us the ability to build a higher quality, longer lasting tire for your car, truck, or SUV. Innovation through competition. That's our philosophy. Because at Toyo Tires, we are driven to perform.
There's still time to join the Ford family. Until October 3rd, you can still get the same low prices our employees and their families pay for Ford trucks. Just announced, get up to $1,000 clearance cash on 2005 Ford F-Series and Ranger. With clearance cash, drive the highest-ranked light-duty pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power F-150 4x4 for just over $21 grand, or Ford Ranger XLT 4x4 for around $18,000. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Montana Ford family to yours. Welcome.
If it's in Montana, if it affects your community, if it's relevant to your everyday lives, you'll find it on the Montana News Network. The Montana News Network brings you total coverage of regional news, sports, and weather at 10 p.m. each weeknight, live from our studios in the heart of Montana. The Montana News Network is working for you, covering the stories that are informative, the stories that matter. The Montana News Network, working for you in the spirit of Montana.
Halftime at Mustang Stadium. Cal Poly leads the Bobcats of Montana State. Tonight's game brought to you by Transaria, Northwestern Energy, and by the Billings Hotel and Convention Center. One half of football in the books as we look at Primus Beach in beautiful Central California. Back to Mustang Stadium. And Dean, I'll tell you, you talk about teams that are opportunistic, and we've talked about it through this first 2 quarters, and there you have it.
Well, let's take away the 2 scores by the defense for Cal Poly. What's your score? 14-7, right there. That tells you right there what made one of them possible. Penalty flags going all through the air because of what? Well, some ugly-looking forward passes, but guess what? They served the purpose. They probably were uncatchable at best, but Bobcat defenders flagged for the infractions. The drive stays alive, and Cal Poly scores twice.
We'll step aside. Much more. We're at halftime at Mustang Stadium on the campus of Cal Poly. Back with more after this.
Hey, Mom and Dad. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center has a package just for you. For just $74, you get one night stay with a room for four, complimentary continental breakfast, plus your choice of 4 passes to Geyser Park or the Maze Thing, and 2 passes for comedy night. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center, conveniently located off King Avenue Interchange, has all the services you expect. Dine in comfort in the restaurant or take a dip in the pool when you take advantage of the Fall into Fun special at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center.
There's a silent killer in your home. You can't see it or smell it, but left undetected, carbon monoxide poisoning can cause flu-like symptoms, confusion, or even death. Keep your family safe. Have your furnace cleaned and checked every year. And if you suspect carbon monoxide poisoning, leave the area immediately. Call Northwestern Energy and get medical help.
There is a CO problem.
Northwestern Energy, dedicated to serving you.
Spring, summer, winter, and fall. 4 Seasons does it all. Professional in parking lot and landscape maintenance, integrity, dependability, knowledge, service, asphalt rejuvenation to sprinkler irrigation, tree and turf care to snow and ice liability management. Progressive, protective, curative, creative. We protect your investments. Hardscape, softscape, landscape, you can escape when you call 4 Seasons. Total property maintenance, serving all Montana and Idaho markets. One call does it all. 1-866-606-2467.
Max Media of Montana is taking Montana TV to the max. Max Media of Montana's statewide television group offers you maximized viewing choices with more stations and top programming in each market. Our Montana News Network delivers comprehensive local news, weather, and sports from around our state. The Montana Sports Network puts you in the stadium with Montana State Bobcat football broadcasts. We are Montana. We are Max Media.
This is the Northwestern Energy Halftime Report from Mustang Stadium at Cal Poly. Let's go down below to Chris Bach.
Thanks, guys. Well, we said earlier in the show, we talked about Tremaine Murray. He's from Oxnard, California, a mere 20 minutes from here. So he gets to come in his home area and play in front of a lot of his family members. Now, I had a chance to speak with him last week about how he's dealing with the pressure of coming over from Washington State. He's kind of had a hard game tonight, but we'll have to see what he has to say.
I thrive on it. It was like I had the pressure in junior college, and then so now like losing Rick, a first team all Big Sky, those are hard shoes to fill, but I feel that I have the skills and ability to make the plays, and just hopefully I make enough plays and along with the other guys on offense that we can just help to move the team along and just go out there and come out with a victory.
A tough time, as is the rest of the Bobcat offense. We'll talk more with Chris and Dean when we get back from break.
Right. Back at halftime, there you see the score. Cal Poly dominating the first half of play, leading Montana State by a score of 28-7. The top of the show, Dean, we talked about the fact this was a battle of two nationally ranked teams. The Cats enjoying their highest ranking since the '84 national championship team, number 11 in the country going into this one. Cal Poly coming in at number 18, and certainly through the first two quarters, they have made a statement that not only do they belong in the top 20, but they belong and then some.
Well, the Bobcats were worried about the ground game with the option, but look at the passing numbers.
Yeah.
Jonah Russell's caught 2 for 46. Jason Holmes has caught 2 for 54. Tredale Tolver's caught 2 for 56. The Bobcats, you've got 2 catches out there, and the biggest one was to Bass, 21 yards. The good news for the Cats, that was for the touchdown. Average play, 6.8 yards per play for Cal Poly. The Bobcats at 3.2. 1 for 10 for Murray, and Bass, we said 1 for 21 for the Bobcats. Time of possession is even up a little bit, but guess what? It all belongs right now to Cal Poly.
You bet. Let's take a look at some other scores. These are games of interest. Montana in Missoula wins over South Dakota State, but a close ball game, 7-0. The final score. I'm told the Jackrabbits were deep inside Grizz territory late in the game, but Montana gets the shutout. Idaho State big over Montana Western from the Frontier Conference, 37-0. And Weber State on the short end has the Bison of North Dakota State again win big, 41-0 there. Other scores around the Big Sky. Portland State in the second leads Sacramento State 7-3. The Vikings, one team looking to contend for the Big Sky Championship this year. They are good. Northern Arizona wins over Southern Utah, another team here in this Great West Conference. So score one for the Big Sky, 27-7. And in the second quarter, Eastern Washington leading Western Oregon by a score of 17-0.
Well, as you look at that, there's some shutouts there, obviously, and not a lot of scoring by some teams you'd thought would be doing a lot more scoring. 7-3 Portland State. The Grizz only getting 7 points in the whole ball game. I mean, that is really unusual for that offense in Missoula. So Grizzly fans probably scratching their heads a little bit there.
Well, Montana does get the win to go to 2-1 now on the season as they do win in Missoula. Let's take a look, Dean, at some of the first half highlights, and most of those on the offensive end of the boys in green.
Yes, Cal Poly has had it their way. Ball tipped up in the air. Great defensive job, you think, initially by Kyan Hunter for the Bobcats. And it was slapped it away, but good focus, and Cal Poly comes up with it. And as Lule has time and finds Bass, second effort by him, and the youngster gets it across the goal line for 6. But again, Hunter being victimized, and Travis Lule then being victimized as the ball is punched away and recovered for a touchdown by Cal Poly. So Cal Poly with 2 touchdowns scored by the defense, and to make sure that the offense got a little bit of notoriety, running it in that time, your quarterback for Cal Poly, Anthony Garnett.
You know, and those 2 touchdowns, the last 2 you saw there on the reel, came late in the second quarter, Dean. We were locked up on a 14-7 ball game. The strip by Travis Lule in the end zone, Gokong falls on it. That led to the 3rd touchdown. And taking a look at the halftime stats, which you touched on, Dean, really dominated by the Mustangs.
Yeah, the Mustangs, obviously, as the score would indicate, 28-7. The Mustangs have owned the ball game on both sides of the football. The offense hasn't been necessarily pretty, but it's been very efficient, and the defense has been, I won't say better than advertised, but pretty doggone good. I mean, if you look at that, Chris, the passing yardage, who would have thunk that? And the rushing yardage, who would have thought that would have been reversed? But as you look at total offense, not very good. But the big thing, no penalties. No penalties for Cal Poly, and the Bobcats rung up 3 times, and that contributed, obviously, to Cal Poly getting into the end zone.
Time of possession starting to even out a little, but this one, Dean, really surprises me. 238 yards of total offense for Cal Poly, and that's not much more than they do normally for an entire game.
Yeah, as they were starting to get in there, and you notice that the fans have gone from the flip-flops and tank tops and shorts to the blankies and the hoodies. There you go.
You see what happens when the sun sets in California, and there it is.
There it is.
What a great shot that is.
Sunset at Pismo Beach.
Did you have fun out on your board today?
Oh, just wonderful. Just wonderful. I paddled all the way out.
Okay, we're back with more at halftime. Cal Poly leads by 3 touchdowns.
Northwestern Energy, we work hard to educate about the dangers of natural gas.
I've seen this happen before. You smell a strong natural gas odor, ignore it, and then flip a switch, light a candle, or use the phone. Never ignore the warning signs. If you smell natural gas, leave the area immediately, then call us.
Remember, if the odor is strong, don't stay long. Northwestern Energy, dedicated to serving you.
Whether it's the power and exhilaration of NMRA drag racing, the handling and performance of Speed World Challenge, or the traction and durability of extreme rock crawling at U-Rock, Toyo Tires is there. The knowledge we've gained from our success in racing gives us the ability to build a higher quality, longer lasting tire for your car, truck, or SUV. Innovation through competition. That's our philosophy. Because at Toyo Tires, we are driven to perform.
Curious how the all-wheel drive Ford Freestyle stacks up against Subaru Outback? The answer's only a click away at CompareFord.com. Freestyle has more total interior room and more maximum cargo space than Subaru Outback. And Outback doesn't even offer third-row seating. Plus, Freestyle's thousands less. And just announced, get family plan pricing plus $1,000 clearance cash on remaining 05 Freestyles. So check out CompareFord.com for yourself today. Ford Freestyle. Built for Montana, built for the road ahead.
This is it. A new season, a new look, a time to build on the past and create a new future. A time to take all the work, dreams, and promise and bring it to the field. Can Travis Lulay orchestrate his offense to the team's third victory in 4 years over the Grizz? Can the revamped defense return to prominence in the Big Sky Conference? Can Mike Kramer hang another conference championship banner in the field house?
Join me, Chris Bach, every week as we track the Bobcats and find answers to these questions on an all-new show, Bobcat Football with Mike Kramer.
And we're back as halftime begins to wind down. Just under 3 minutes to go before the start of the third quarter. In a 28-7 game, Cal Poly on top of Montana State.
Still have the flashing light above us. We've had 6 fans come up and ask us what the special is in the deli. So I don't know what's going on here with that. Well, that's all right. Bobcats hope to turn the lights out on Cal Poly. This is the one, you've heard all this stuff, and it's true, though. Don't try to get it all at once. Hi, Mom, that's me. I see that. Ricocheting right off the head there. That's good. 3 ships now have come into the harbor because they think whatever we've signaled off the head there with the lights, they figured we got the message. So
2 shows a night, folks.
Parking down here at the dock, right here. Welcome to the flashing lights. We are the beacon in the night.
Let's go down below to Chris Bach.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined with head coach Mike Kramer. Coach, you're down 28-7, not exactly a first half out of your dreams.
Yeah, well, defensively, we've given up 14 on good long drives by them, and another 14 that we handed to them. So some mistakes and some route running early. Travis held the ball too late, put us in a heck of a hole. But we get the ball to start the second half. That extra possession's got to be the difference as we fight our way back into this thing.
So you feel like you're still in this game?
Oh, my God. They're not doing anything to us that we're not letting them do to us. This is a matter of us taking control of this ball game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, babe.
Back to you guys.
All right, so you hear it from Mike Kramer, a man on a mission in the second half. We'll be back with a second half kickoff after this. Coramella set to kick it away as we begin the third quarter. Montana State will get the football to begin the second half. Gathing, Murray, and Dominic back deep to receive. Coromella's been good kicking the ball deep into the end zone. Big possession for MSU as head coach Mike Kramer told us to begin the third. Gathing will take it right on the goal line. Up over the 10, tries to find the corner on the left side, cuts it up inside. Up over the 20, and that's where MSU will go to work. And Dean, as you heard Coach Kramer, pretty exercised in his comments about the game so far, but no question Montana State's still in it, and maybe the right call there to start the ball game to opt to take it here in the third quarter.
Well, he was exactly right on everything, and you can bet that was the same attitude in the locker room. And he's right. We gave him two, as he said, his quote. He's right. They did. They gave him two. Well, now here it is. You got the ball. You got 2 full quarters. Go for it.
All right, so no question a big series for the Cats to start the third. They'll open with Lule under center, Bass the running back, and a quick pass out to Chaz Gwynn, who makes the catch at the 25. That's his first grab of the night.
And that was almost a little bit late on the delivery there. Because again, stepping up and playing very tight, Courtney Brown. Telling you what, Courtney Brown, better pay attention. Number 2's out there on defense. Get that ball out there.
Well, the Cats going to go a little no huddle here to start the third.
Goes in the gun, hopefully to give him a little more time.
Bass with a nice spin move up to the 30. That's close to the first down. Looks to be maybe a yard short.
Yeah, you just have to establish yourself. That's one thing. Get the offense rolling, which it hasn't rolled at all. One possession, a little over 5 minutes. They went down and scored, but for the most part, no rhythm, no continuity. Just hasn't been there yet.
3rd and 1 from the 29. Lule brings him up under center. Two-step drop, fires across to Gwynn, who makes the catch up near the 30-yard line. That's a first down, and that was a tough catch by Chaz Gwynn, who hauls it in for the first down.
And I think, as you pointed out earlier, haven't seen him yet. Well, you've seen him twice now in this series. Here's the Four Seasons replay. Again, Lule getting time, and again zips it out there, and there's Gwynn, and he's going to catch it and hang on. And he's always in the danger of going the distance.
10 yards and a first down. Keeps the chains moving. Brown takes it to the outside and now run out of bounds. Still on his feet. Takes it all the way up to the 47-yard line. Well, it looked like he was going to go straight up the middle, nothing there, and then just bounced to the outside, Dean, and got good positive yards.
Well, you think of Bass as a scat back, and I guess he would be that, but also don't forget that he is very durable, and he has seen a lot of action here in the early going, hanging on to the football, but gets that stiff arm out there and said, get out of the way, and gets himself another 2, 3, 4 yards. So 5'6", 190. He's pretty solid.
2nd and 1. Let's see if they try something out. Keep it on the ground, and Bass tries to get to the outside, and he's going to lose yardage all the way back to the 45. So what was a 2nd and 1 all of a sudden is going to be about a 3rd and 6.
Pressure coming right up inside from Cal Poly, and they shut off the gap, so Bass had no place to go, so he has to shift it to the outside. And guess what? By that time, too many green jerseys. You see that is coming right up in the gap was Kyle Shotwell that we've talked about quite a bit. What a linebacker he is, and he read it very well and came right up inside, and there was no place to run.
Rastelli also in on the stop. Bass 17 carries for 60 yards. 3rd and 5 from the 44. Just underway in the third quarter. Opening drive for Montana State. Lule calls his own number. Tripped up at the 46, but gets close to midfield, and that's very close to another first down.
And that was called all the way. No hesitation there. Couldn't wait on that one. So Lule trying to give him a little semblance of a series, which they've got going. Getting a little bit of rhythm that he knew all along, and we talked about Shotwell before. Well, he was the shot-e on that one because he couldn't pull down Lule. Helped trip him up a little bit, but he went right by him.
That is a first down, and 9 rushes for a net 4 yards. That could change in a hurry, though. We're at midfield, another first down for the Cats. On the first down run from Lule, and again, another bad exchange. Another bad center to quarterback exchange. That's the 3rd time that's happened tonight. and a loss on the play.
Now instead of having 2nd and 7, 8, 9, maybe only 6, now you're in 2nd and really long. Again, he gets it. Well, no, he doesn't get it. And Bass didn't get it either, and finally Lulay finds it. I don't know if that came a snap on the count quicker than he was expecting or whatever, but it was as if he was half not expecting it.
2nd and 15 now after the loss of 5 on the play. Boy, you hate to beat yourself on plays like that and put themselves in a passing situation here.
See that turf sticking in the top of Lulay's helmet. That shows you what kind of night it's been. That normally you wouldn't see that with him. They're not going to get to him enough.
Travis has a little running room, tucks it down, now cuts up inside and takes it all the way down close to the 40-yard line. And again, Travis Lulay making something happen, Dean. Nobody open, so gets good yardage.
Shotwell, the guy chasing him again. He finally did catch him, but Lulay got a couple of extra yards on that. But again, Lulay wants to throw it. And then he's wise enough to pull it down, sees the open field, and you see that Shotwell cut back and finally grabbed him. But Lulay faked him out enough.
Gain of 12 on the play, 3rd and 3 from the 42. Inside Mustang territory, opening drive, 3rd quarter. Travis, this time with the quick little pitch to Bass. Can he reach the corner? He turns it close to the first down. And it looks like Bass had just enough to get across the 40. And Dean, I think he got just enough for the first down.
Part of that depends on the shoe size of the official there, which way he was turned, because it was pretty tight over in front of the Bobcat bench, with the Bobcats giving them their version of the option. Bass seeing a lot of action tonight, but a good job. But again, Bass determined to turn the corner and hang on. A nice try by Aaron Williams, who's started 4 straight years for Cal Poly. And he is your experienced strong safety, to put it mildly.
First down from the 40, got enough. Lulay looks to pass, fires down across the middle deep, and this one is broken up inside the 10-yard line. Nice effort out there by Mike Brown, but good coverage by Chacon back there in the secondary.
You have 3 green jerseys down there. Give the line credit. Lulay rolling and had more than enough time to get it out there. Boy, you talk about threading the needle. Dangerous pass. 3 defenders there, and he still almost got the completion.
You know, and that's one of the few times, Dean, where he has been able to go deep tonight. And that time, trying to find Brown inside the 10. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10 from the 40. This time, the give is to Dominic. Has some running room inside the 30 to the 25, and down inside the 25 for another first down. Justin Dominic's first run from scrimmage.
Youngster out of Anaheim, a little bit different look for the Cal Poly defense, but he's more power. 5'11", 208, and he found out where the hole was. You look at the 4 seasons replay, started to his right a little bit there, comes back to the left, and it's wide open, and right straight through he goes. Good job by your running back, Dominic, of reading the hole.
Had a good burst of speed after he found the hole, Dean, to get through. So that one goes for 17 yards and a first down to the 24. 1st and 10. Inside 10 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Dominic breaks one tackle, breaks, and now that time he can't get out of that play. Chacon with a nice stop behind the backfield. It's going to be a loss on the play.
He read it well, but they made him go a little bit wider than they wanted. But again, the Bobcats started off throwing the ball and now on the ground. But again, you see that he finds it. He finds the hole outside, tries to bounce out, but Chacon wasn't having any part of it.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 from the 26. Boy, they're bringing 8 up on the line of scrimmage now. Lulay straight back, looks, pass incomplete.
Stuck right in his face.
Yep. Knocked down by Dustin Baxley, who broke in and throws that one away, incomplete.
Boy, you talk about having it slammed right back into your grill as he cocks to fire. Boom, comes right back in his face as getting both hands up and coming through. Big Dustin Baxley, linebacker, comes right on through and said, I don't think that's going to happen.
3rd and 12 now from the 26. Lulay 5 of 15 for 68 yards. And another big play in this drive.
Those stats would be normal for one Travis Lulay-led drive, let alone we're into the second half.
Here comes pressure. Lulay looks right, fires down the middle, and this one intended for Brown, who was wide open at the 10-yard line, but the ball just thrown too high and out of bounds, and that sets up a 4th down. So now decision time for the Bobcats from the 26. And it looks like they'll send on the field goal unit as Hastings will trot on and try the long field goal. The spot of the football is going to be at the 32, so this will be a 42-yard field goal attempt. Hastings 3 for 4 last week.
Well within his range.
Ball is down, kick on the way. And this one is good. Nice job by Hastings with not a lot to spare. 42-yard field goal makes it 28-10 Mustangs in the 3rd.
Hey, Mom and Dad, the Billings Hotel and Convention Center has a package just for you. For just $74, you get 1 night stay with a room for 4, complimentary continental breakfast, plus your choice of 4 passes to Geyser Park or the Maze Thing, and 2 passes for comedy night. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center, conveniently located off King Avenue Interchange, has all the services you expect. Dine in comfort in the restaurant or take a dip in the pool when you take advantage of the Fall into Fun special at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center.
Spring, summer, winter, and fall. 4 Seasons does it all. Professional in parking lot and landscape maintenance, integrity, dependability, knowledge, service, asphalt rejuvenation to sprinkler irrigation, tree and turf care to snow and ice liability management. Progressive, protective, curative, creative. We protect your investments. Hardscape, softscape, landscape, you can escape when you call 4 Seasons. Total property maintenance, serving all Montana and Idaho markets. One call does it all. 1-866-606-2467.
Whether it's the power and exhilaration of NMRA drag racing, the handling and performance of Speed World Challenge, or the traction and durability of extreme rock crawling at U-Rock, Toyo Tires is there. The knowledge we've gained from our success in racing gives us the ability to build a higher quality, longer lasting tire for your car, truck, or SUV. Innovation through competition. That's our philosophy. Because at Toyo Tires, we are driven to perform.
Bobcats get 3 on the field goal by Jeff Hastings to make it a 28-10 ball game midway through the 3rd quarter. And Dean taking a look at that. We're going to take a look at that field goal after the opening kick. He just had enough to get it inside the right upright.
Well, he did get it up, and that's the key, and flew it through there. He missed the one last week and then got the 3, as you mentioned. And Coach Kramer very high on him. But the key on that, okay, it's only 3, but you got something out of it. You got your first possession in the second half. You marched all the way down, and you came up with something. And there's part of the guys responsible for the O-line for the Bobcats.
Tyler Bolton set to kick it away. Tolver and Russell are back deep for the Mustangs. This one's going to come down to Russell at the 10, 20, 25, up close to the 30. Good return for Russell, and that's where Cal Poly goes to work. 1st and 10 for their first possession of the 3rd quarter.
KU can call this baby at home. Good snap, the ball is down, and he gets it and brings her back. Yes, just in there. I always like it when the 2 officials look at each other. You know?
That's right.
Somebody
Get
ought
it
to know.
right.
One standing right underneath it, so he should have known. But a nice drive by the Bobcats, and they do come up with something, and I think that is one of the major keys. 15 plays, 55 yards, 6 minutes, 13 seconds, the field goal. The Montana Ford Stores scoring drive.
Whoa, Martinez with a big hole straight up the middle. That'll go for the 1st down. The big fullback getting some work here early in the 3rd quarter. Just goes over the left side and gets a 1st down to the 39.
And you get Ryan Forrest to pull him down, and he's done his share tonight and on the season. Doing a great job, but you look at it again, this is what they do. They just run at you. That's it. Run at you. And if they don't run at you, they fake that, and then they'll throw. I mean, that's their option offense, and they've run it very well tonight. Keep you guessing that time, the fullback.
A lot of pressure now on the Montana State defense here to come up with the stop in the 3rd. 1st down from the 39. Garnett this time rolls to his right, gives to Noble straight up the middle, breaks one tackle, breaks another, up over the 45 to the 50, close to another first down. Good running by Noble to move the chains.
Well, we gave you all the numbers several times tonight and told you about what he did in high school, and there's a reason why. He was averaged 8 yards a carry, just like that. I mean, he's given him the moves. Toff Grenville holds on long enough to get some help and pull him down. Epi King comes in to help dust him off, but hey, he's a danger.
Well, you talk about the local talent on this team and the players in this immediate area. I have a colleague back in Billings that worked in Bakersfield for a while, and the number of high schools in the area that they would typically cover on a Friday night, just in one area, 17, 18 games. And we were watching the local news last night, Dean, and there's just so many schools to pick and choose from, and it's such a heavily populated area. And when you get a guy like that that's that good that can come in, what a plus for your program as they look to improve in Division I AA and continue to move up. And Noble certainly an impressive running back, going for those 124 yards last week.
You bet. And on the roster, 15 players on the roster are from right here within the area, within what they call the Central Coast, and they are all from right here, including Martinez, who we've seen carry. I mean, Chris Gokong, they're big stud on defense, etc., but they're from right here. MSU rushing 89 yards, 94 now for Cal Poly.
1st and 10 from the 49, and this time again, Noble breaks tackles down to the 45. He just will not go down to the 44, and that's the toughest 6 yards of running you're ever going to see. And for our viewers back in Montana, when you look at the high schools in our area, you'll have 2 or 3 teams in each given city, and then you come out here into an area like San Luis Obispo, and all of a sudden you're looking at 15, 20, 30 high schools.
Watch the feet.
Yep. Keeps them moving.
That's the deal. Great balance, and you're playing defense. He knows where he's going. You don't have a clue. You got to try and cut him off. That time Papich and Lowe didn't finally get him, but another big gain.
13 rushes for 78 yards, creeping up on that 100-yard mark. 2nd and 2 from the 41. 7 minutes to go, third quarter. This time, a whistle before the snap.
And a flag in the secondary.
Interesting.
Delay a game.
Yeah. So that'll back them up 5 and make it 2nd and 7 from the 46.
Noble out of Barstow, California, 348 yards in one game as a high school senior. Just incredible numbers, but he had almost every game of his senior year in high school was over 200 yards. Just incredible. I mean, he had a whole career in one season, and you look at him tonight, and now you know why. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he is. 2nd and 7 from the 49. And here's Garnett. This time, pitches late to Noble, who turns the corner. That's a first down and then some. Noble with one man to beat. Noble inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Mustangs. Wow. James Noble from midfield. He is see ya gone, and 6 more for Cal Poly.
49 big ones on that one. And once he got the pitch, boy, did he thread his way through the defense. Stay in bounds, know where he was going.
Boy, that is a dagger to the Bobcats defense, as they had scored a field goal to open the third, and the Mustangs come right back, drive the length of the field, capping it off with the 49-yard run by James Noble, who is now over 100 yards rushing on the night. And the Mustangs look to extend the lead to 35-10.
Well, he has 3 more years after this one, and the series is not signed for any more games, and my guess is it might be more than 3 years before you want to sign up to play these guys again.
6:29 to go in the third. James Noble just beats everyone in the corner and all the way in for the touchdown. And it's 35-10 in favor of Cal Poly. And we'll be back after these words from our local stations. Fans are whooping it up at Mustang Stadium, and why not? The home team, they're winning 35-10 after the 50-yard run by James Noble.
20 for 108 last week. He's got to be right at that number about now.
This time a short kick coming down to Murray, who fields it at the 15. Tries to get outside, cuts it up inside nicely and close to the 30-yard line. Nice job by Tremaine Murray to give the Bobcats good field position.
Quick strike offense would be the call right now. There's a look at the scoring drive for Cal Poly. You go back and look at Garnett, just rolls to the right, takes a look, knows he's got Noble. Now watch Noble. It doesn't look like he's running all that hard. He's just kind of halfway loping, it looks like. Finds his route, sets up the blocks, and goes right on into the end zone.
Here's Lulay passing on first down. This is caught by Murray all the way up over midfield. And you mentioned it, Dean, quick strike, and they need a lot of that right now.
You need to gobble up as much real estate as you can, as quick as you can, because you need 4 scores. You have plenty of time, don't get me wrong. 4 seasons property maintenance replay. Lulay puts it right where it has to be, and the good news is you're hanging on with the reception. And you take a look at the Montana Ford scoring drive. 4 plays, 73 yards, 2 minutes, 17 seconds. The 48-yard run by Noble was the biggie.
Here's Lulay now, tries to get outside, and that time dragged down at the 45-yard line. Maybe one on the play. Good coverage again by the Mustang secondary. And where Travis has had some success, Dean, has been the underneath routes, the short, the mid-range routes, 10, 15 yards, because going deep has just not been an option tonight.
He had 4 receivers down that time around the 20 or inside there, but they were all literally hugged by 4 green jerseys who were right with him, and then Lulay had to pull it down and scramble, and he picked himself up maybe a yard. That's about it.
2nd and 9 from the 45. Here's Lulay again, feels pressure, and a tough catch. Did he get it? Still no signal.
Cal Poly says they didn't get it, but guess what?
Yeah, they got it.
They're wearing green jerseys, not striped jerseys, so Murray gets the reception.
That's a tough catch when you know you're going to get whacked on that quick slant route.
And you're running right there in linebacker country, and you know someone's going to ring your bell.
Stockwell was ready to deliver, but Murray got down quick enough on the low toss, so gain of 9, 3rd and 1 from the 37. Cats quickly moving down the field, under 5 to go in the 3rd quarter. This time, Travis just kind of wheels back, and it's not the quarterback draw for the Cats not a bad call for a couple of reasons. You got the most durable quarterback in the league, and Travis has 35 consecutive starts now, and so he's a guy you can let run the football because he's been durable and he's been able to withstand the punishment that you so often get when you're keeping the football and trying to scat out there for the yardage. That's a first down to the 35, just enough.
And he finally gets over 100 yards passing, which for him, as I said before, should be like one drive, but it tells you a little bit about what it's all been about tonight.
No question. Mustang defense has done an outstanding job this time. Play action. Here's Lulay rolling to his right, looks downfield. He'll keep it clotheslined at the 30. He'll get 5 on the play, but he'll pay for it. Gokong just steamrolls him out of bounds after the short gain.
Lulay moved to number 1 in the career passing attempts department with his performance thus far, passing Kelly Bradley. So he's going to number 1 in a lot of categories. 4 seasons replay. And again, here's Lulay also doing what he does so well, keeping that defense honest, grabbing by the pads and jerking down, but still a positive yardage on the ground for Lulay.
Gokong shot well. This time the give is straight up the middle to Bass, finds a little bit of running room. Going to be short of the first down, so it'll bring up 3rd and short again. How many times have we called Shotwell's number tonight? Even when he hasn't made the tackle, he's in on the play.
Yeah, we knew he would be in there. Junior. And he has a brother on the team also, so brother's just a freshman, so the Shotwell brothers.
19 rushes for 65 yards now for Bass. Another big third down play, 3rd and 3 from the 28. 3.5 to go, third quarter. Cats need points and in a hurry. Lule looks left, nowhere to go, brought down, nothing doing. And once again, that Mustang defense putting all kinds of pressure on Travis Lule.
8 guys on the line. He had 2 receivers out, and he had 3 green jerseys covering 2. So the odds were with Cal Poly because they had the 8 guys up front, and Lule had no place to go with it. And with 8 guys on the line, there's no place to run.
Mike Brown checks out of the lineup. Murray and Gwynn split left on 4th and 5. The Cats will go. Lule looks across the middle, has a man, and Murray with a tough catch in traffic. Oh, baby, that was big. On a 4th down, gets enough for the first to the 20-yard line.
You owe the O-line a lunch on that one. You talk about the guys standing up and keeping them off your porch so you'd have some time. Look at the replay on this as Lule looks, he looks, he looks, he looks.
Ooh, man.
And then you still got 2 green jerseys that he managed to thread it in there. But again, you got the good hands man, Murray, and he holds on.
Rastelli had great coverage there. That was excellent coverage by the Mustangs. Travis just threads it in there. Murray now 3 catches for 34, first down from the 20. Lule looks downfield, now breaks up inside the 20. Whacked. Oh, he stays on his feet to the 15.
And he's up.
Yeah, running the ball like a fullback.
He didn't even wait for the count of 8. Just got up.
He took nothing and made 5 yards out of it to the 15. A tough kid.
Well, Lule again with some time.
You saw the hole there.
And then running out of time, but again, ducks his head and goes down.
1:53 to go in the third quarter. Cats trail 35-10 to the Mustangs.
There's still time to join the Ford family. Until October 3rd, you can still get the same low prices our employees and their families pay for Ford SUVs. Just announced. Get $1,000 clearance cash on 2005 Ford Explorer and Expedition. With clearance cash, you can drive a 4x4 Explorer XLS for just over $22 grand, or an Expedition XLT now family plan priced at around $31,000. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Montana Ford family to yours. Welcome.
We started working with Transaria because we had a need for high quality, high speed, high capacity, and highly scalable bandwidth in massive quantities, and Transaria meets that need perfectly. Well, Transaria is, in a word, fast. Fast response, fast to deal with, and very, very fast bandwidth.
There's a silent killer in your home. You can't see it or smell it, but left undetected, carbon monoxide poisoning can cause flu-like symptoms, confusion, or even death. Keep your family safe. Have your furnace cleaned and checked every year. And if you suspect carbon monoxide poisoning, leave the area immediately. Call Northwestern Energy and get medical help.
There is a CO problem.
Northwestern Energy, dedicated to serving you.
And there's some young and happy Mustang football fans for Cal Poly. Their team winning 35-10, but the Bobcats threatening to score here, looking at a 2nd and 5. Part of the sold-out crowd tonight, better than 8,000 on hand.
Students were lined up all the way through the end zone, waiting to get in.
Good fans, they make a lot of noise out here.
Yeah, they do.
Bass lines up behind Lule. Travis pressured, and this time he'll go down.
Guess who?
Yeah, Go Kong at the 21-yard line, 19-yard line. Loss of 4. There just isn't anyone to throw to. I mean, he makes the quick drop, looks to set up, and before he can really make his reads downfield, he's getting that pressure.
They're playing pass. Cal Poly,
Right.
no, you're probably going to throw it. Go Kong is, well, he may be the best. guy in America on the defensive side of the ball, 1AA football. He has himself a touchdown tonight also.
Got a Buchanan finalist staring down a guy that's on the Peyton watch list. He won that battle. 3rd and 9. Lulay, this time the blitz comes off the corner, and no chance at all as he's taken down for a loss on the play. Number 55, Jason Relier with the sack and a 4th down.
Well, Gokong was tying him up, and they were watching him, and Relier just bull rushed right on through and just kept on coming. Again, no time for Lulay.
Boom.
I mean, if you're going with that rush, you're going in a hurry, and the defensive secondary is doing a great job. So Lulay and company.
4th and 14. Cats will go. Under 30 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Got to get to the 10.
Yep. Lulay this time has time. Looks downfield and incomplete. Intended for Chaz Gwynn at the goal line. And the Mustangs will take over on downs.
Brown's with him all the way for the Mustangs. He led him enough to where only he would be the one maybe who could get it, but obviously by too much.
Well, a nice drive that stalls at the 15, and any chance at all for the Cats to get back into this game really needed a touchdown before the end of the 3rd quarter. You take a look at Lulay's jersey, and you can see the kind of night he's having. He has been battered and beaten around in this game by a very good Mustang defense. So 1st and 10 from the 24. Garnett brings him out. All Mustangs. Martinez the motion man. The give is to Noble straight up the middle. Couple of yards, and that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Coloni with the stop. A more than promising freshman for the Bobcats.
So that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Cal Poly keeping its lead 35-10 over Montana State. And we'll be back after these words from your local television stations. Final 15 from Mustang Stadium in San Luis Obispo. This one all Cal Poly as we start the 4th quarter. They have the football 2nd and 7 from the 27. Garnett's gone all the way at quarterback, and he has been impressive. Straight ahead running, takes it up over the 30-yard line, and right now it's all about taking time off the clock. Let's go down below to Chris Bach.
Well, joining me is Ed Figueroa, father of Lawrence Figueroa, senior offensive guard.
That's right.
You get a chance to go fly into Bozeman and watch him play quite a bit. How nice is it to just be able to drive from Bakersfield, where you're from, up to this game?
Well, it's a lot easier. In some ways, we've got a 2-hour drive from Bakersfield, and so it's a lot nicer. We had different plans for the scoreboard today, but it's a lot easier. Yeah.
Not exactly the way that you wanted this game to turn out. Pretty lopsided.
No, not really. This is Lawrence's last year. He's a senior. We had plans. The team is a good team. They will always be my team, and they've done really good so far. Every game they go into, they do their best they can. And sure, it's the last time they'll play Cal Poly. And we had hopes. It's not over yet. We still have hopes that we take this game. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Only one game, plenty of season left.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We'll toss it back up to you guys.
The eternal optimist. You got to like that, though.
Well, Mom and Dad want you to win every one.
Well, of course.
Well, one thing I remember, as Chris said, there's a lot of season left. And by the way, this is a non-conference game.
Exactly right. Got some substitutions now in as the Mustangs will bring in some new players. That's Fred Hives, who gets the carry on second down from the 47. Well, this is on the verge of having that string extended to 7 games in which the Mustangs have beaten Montana State, and that's a monkey on your back kind of stat. At some point you hope it gets turned around, but you see the dejection on the players' faces. But hey, as you said, Dean, this is non-conference. You line up and go at it again next week in Bozeman against North Dakota State, and then you get ready to buckle in for the Big Sky.
It Hives in there. Noble's back. Noble, we said, averaged 8 yards a carry senior in high school. Hives averaged 7.
Mm-hmm.
So you take one guy out who averaged 8, you
plug in another one.
Plug in another, average 7.
You really see that when you get into these metropolitan areas, and I don't mean that as a big city, of course, but just a collection of communities in a real short radius, and you look at Montana and how far you have to go to look at a good football player, and we have our share of great players that come out of Montana, but just the sheer numbers really is amazing when you get into these populated areas, and boy, that's certainly evident with this team. What is that guy? What's that? The giant Mustang? What do they call him? 2nd and 10 from the 43.
Well, I think he's supposed to be a Mustang.
Yeah, pony head. All right, 2nd and 10. Garnett this time gives to Noble up the middle, and short game. Well, I knew we were in wine country, Dean, because we all went out to dinner last night, and when we opened the menu, we had to flip through 8 pages of wine selections before we got to what they were serving for dinner. And I was in a convenience store today. I'm not kidding. I was in a 24-hour convenience store, and they had a wine rack in the convenience store. Now that tells you where you're from.
Look at Noble here, 18 for 157. This is only his 2nd game as a Mustang. Last week was his first. So he's about at 300 yards for 2 games.
Oh, nice catch. And here we go. Down inside the 25 to the 20. Garnett going back up top. And a nice catch. And again, Cal Poly going to the bench as they find number 85, Phil Skinner. Wide receiver get his first look tonight. And a nice catch.
He did a great job of coming back for that. And of course, Garnett, with enough time and puts a little zip on it, he just steps back in and gets it, and the chase is on. And finally the Cats corral him.
Grenfell runs him out of bounds. First down from the 22. Mustangs are saying, let's go get some more.
Now, there's a lot of time left. You can't assume anything.
Martinez straight up the middle. I think at this point now, the Bobcats may be starting to wear down a little bit. That defense has been on the field a long time tonight.
And that play was the one that basically helped Cal Poly last year in Bozeman. Tonight they haven't needed it much because Noble, Mr. Quickfeet, has done it all by himself. But you watch him on the handoff, I don't think the guy can run a straight line. I mean, watch his feet and watch his movement, that he's side to side even as he gets the handoff. A couple yards deep in the backfield.
Martinez lines up in the backfield, and that time, man, oh man, Garnett so quick off the football that he was behind the front 3 of the Bobcats before I think anyone knew what happened.
Well, remember we said coming in, this is a good, number one, interconference battle.
Right, right.
So you have that. You have two teams who are nationally ranked in the 1AA poll. So you get an idea of what's what on what part of the country. Last week, Stephen F. Austin. Tonight, Cal Poly.
Stephen F. Austin out of the Southland Conference, and Cal Poly playing in the Great West with so many teams that have had aspirations of playing in the Big Sky Conference. Here's the deep pitch, and this is a first down. Boy, whacked out of bounds, but not until he picks up the first down as Jonah Russell takes it down to the 10.
Take a look at the third quarter play of the quarter. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center play of the quarter from the third quarter. And Garnett on the snap, rolling to the right side, and guess who? Noble.
Gone.
And 49 yards for 6 big ones. Just kind of halfway loping into the end zone. But there was no one there to slow down his loping.
Hives back in the ball game. He'll take the call inside the 10. Nice job that time, met right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing.
That's the not so fast tackle by Clive Lowe. Hives thought he found a hole, and Clive Lowe said not so fast, grabbed a hold and dropped him.
2nd and goal from the 8. Down to the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Mustangs have controlled this game since early on, looking to improve to 2-1 on the season.
Mustangs averaging 8 yards per play. The Bobcats average per play right now is at 3.5 yards. And the Mustangs now utilizing the ground game to chew up yardage and the clock.
Garnett cuts it up inside of the 5, still stays on his feet. Nice job. Good hard running down inside the 5, brings up 3rd and goal. As we said, Montana State looks ahead now to the Bison of North Dakota State in Bozeman next week, and that is no bargain.
Well, North Dakota State went into the weekend ranked number 12 in 1AA football.
Well, and I like the matchup Cal Poly has. They go to South Dakota State to play the Jackrabbits, which lost to a Montana team 7-0 in Missoula. That'll be interesting to see where South Dakota State lines up with this team. 3rd and 4, as Martinez just bulls ahead. He'll be short of the goal line, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
But they keep the clock running.
Yeah.
It's one of their intentions right now.
Well, a fast-moving second half, and they're going to trot the field goal unit on as Coromelis will come in, which will be nothing more than a chip shot extra point for him. Yeah, the South Dakota State game back in South Dakota should be a real good test for this Mustang team as they begin conference play. Spot of the football is at the 10-yard line, so this will be a 20-yard attempt. Try to tack on points late in the ball game. Plenty of leg on it. This one up. Been good. 8:17 to go in the ball game. All Mustangs 38-10 over MSU.
With the hack attacks, as I call them, it's become very, very important for a company to keep secure data. Transaria takes care of all of that.
All of our data is a security issue. Transaria has been able to provide us with an IP solution where we're running secure VPN tunnels.
There's still time to join the Ford family. Until October 3rd, you can still get the same low prices our employees and their families pay for Ford trucks. Just announced, get up to $1,000 clearance cash on 2005 Ford F-Series and Ranger. With clearance cash, drive the highest-ranked light-duty pickup in initial quality by J.D. Power F-150 4x4 for just over $21 grand, or Ford Ranger XLT 4x4 for around $18,000. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Montana Ford family to yours, welcome.
Max Media of Montana is taking Montana TV to the max. Max Media of Montana's statewide television group offers you maximized viewing choices with more stations and top programming in each market. Our Montana News Network delivers comprehensive local news, weather, and sports from around our state. The Montana Sports Network puts you in the stadium with Montana State Bobcat football broadcasts. We are Montana. We are Max Media.
Back in San Luis Obispo, all Cal Poly 38-10, down to the final 8:17 of the fourth quarter. And Dean, time to regroup for the Bobcats now, as we mentioned, and look ahead to next week's game at Sales Stadium when they take on the Bison of North Dakota State.
All right, it's character check time here right
Sure.
now, too. I mean, you got to play. You got 8 minutes, 17 seconds. Let's do something here. I mean, you can look at it as an early start on next week, however you want to take it, but take a look at the Montana Ford Store scoring drive. Cal Poly 13 plays, 74 yards. They ate up 7 minutes and 5 seconds and did get, obviously, the 20-yard field goal.
This one's going to come down at the 10-yard line. And, well, not much there. Gatlin whacked pretty good at the 20. Gatlin gets it up just over the 20. As the Bobcats will trot out the offense here, and as you mentioned, Dean, try to make something positive happen before the end of the ballgame. You told us when we came in yesterday, it was a beautiful day, and you said, Chris, it's going to get chilly when the sun goes down. But we came at game time, as you mentioned, everybody's in the shorts and T-shirts, and 70-plus degrees, and boy, once that sun goes down the old Pacific, things get cool in a big hurry.
There's a whole lot of blankets in the stands now. And of course, we're out in the open. We forgot our blanket. I'm gonna borrow your coat.
Lule looks long and deep for Murray, who makes the catch to the 40. The 30 inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. And that's the first time tonight that Lule has been able to go deep, and he finds Tremaine Murray all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
Obviously the big one, that's about a 56-yarder, but watch this one. Murray ran the pattern all the way. And I mean, Lule laid it up there, but Murray, watching him, he kept on digging. He knew if he could get him the ball, he's going to be out there, and he was. Well, nice job.
Got single coverage out there with Aaron Williams, and able to beat Williams and take it down to the 23. So 1st and 10. Lule stays up top, and this time going to get flushed and sacked again. Man, oh man, has that front wall been tough for the Mustangs.
And Lule taking a look, and then there's no time, and also there's no place to go, and he looks almost stationary, which is really unusual for him. But they've been able to get to him in there. Offensive line has done a pretty good job, but again, Cal Poly mixing up those defenses, and they love to bring 8. They love to get 8 up there.
Baxley gets the sack on Travis, so loss of 4, 2nd and 14 from the 27. Well, this Mustang defense has been impressive tonight. They have swarmed to the football. Lule looks downfield, and again hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going down again.
Brought them all again. Here you go.
Gokong in on the quarterback sack. And well, I tell you, you know, when you're trailing big late in the game, you know it's coming, and it's coming from all different directions. And Travis is just absolutely getting hammered here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they know you're going to throw, so they just tee off. Here you come. Defensive coordinator doesn't have to get too exotic, because when you're outnumbered, block them one at a time, but not 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah. Brings up 3rd and 20. And Lule gets pressured again. This time gets it away. And Chaz Gwynn, after the catch, nice job of running. Takes it all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down. And I'll tell you, Lule paid for that completion, as he was whacked right after the pass.
But also he knew the pressure was coming, and he got rid of it in a hurry. And that's the play call, obviously. Get it out to Chaz Gwynn, and that gave Gwynn some room to maneuver, because there weren't as many defenders back there as there normally would be, and he ran it well. Figured it out pretty good. But Lule had to get rid of it in a hurry.
Chiquin in on the stop, so gain of 18 makes it 4th and 3 from the 16, inside 6 minutes to go in this one. It's all academic right now except for the final score. starters staying in for the Cats here. You got to give Travis Lulay a lot of credit because he's taken some shots, Dean, in the second half.
Yeah, they've been into his face most of the ball game.
Looks for out to the right side. That's an incomplete pass, and that'll turn the ball over. Murray, the intended receiver, ball thrown behind him. He takes a pretty good lick.
That's a tough one, too, when you got it high and the receiver goes up for it and the defender gets to tee off on it. He's exposed, no way to protect himself. Well, the Bobcats, you know, in that series, we're going to be throwing it as much as possible. Now you know Cal Poly is going to try and just run it as much as possible.
Maybe we can get those other Big Sky scores one last look, Dean, before we go off tonight. We checked in on them in the second quarter. We'll see if the gang can round those up for us and kind of wrap this one up this weekend. A couple teams winning big tonight in non-conference games and some on the short end. 5:30 to go in a ball game. Garnett stays in the game. The quarterback draw right up the middle.
The ball carrier.
Little surprised he's still in the game. Last thing you want is to have your starting quarterback hurt with it in a game that's is totally out of hand on the scoreboard. But he has gone the distance. Let's take a look at some of the upcoming games. Next week, of course, North Dakota State, and then Idaho State on October 1st, and then on the road at Weber State, along with Portland State as well.
Take nothing away from the Cats, but from Cal Poly, but the Bobcat season starts October 1st against Idaho State. That's the conference season.
You bet, and that's where you decide whether you're going to be a player in the postseason or not. And Montana State has been in the mix for the Big Sky Championship the last 3 years. They hope to contend this year. And I don't know, Dean. I mean, I look at the conference right now. I give a slight edge to Eastern Washington as maybe the best team in the league. And then I think you got 4 or 5 teams that could be right there. Portland State, certainly the Cats and Grizz. You know, who knows?
Yeah, the Bobcats have to go to Eastern. They have to go to Portland State. But the good news is also they get the Grizz in Bozeman.
Right. And the Big Sky Conference has such a strong tradition in football that, you know, how many are you going to take this year? Do you take 2 teams out of the Big Sky? Do you look at 3 maybe? That would determine, of course, how they do in these non-conference games. But certainly when Big Sky play begins, there's some outstanding talent in the league this year. Myrick, quarterback for the Eagles. I think they're going to be very good. Montana has struggled offensively through a couple of games, although they did win over South Dakota State. MSU will bounce back, and then I think you got the boys out there in the Emerald City that could be pretty good.
Well, then next week, another non-conference till North Dakota State in Bozeman, and they're ranked higher than these guys. I don't know if they're better than Cal Poly, but they're ranked higher, so that'll be another true test, obviously, and we'll see what this one did to you.
I said Emerald City. I meant Rose City. Honestly, I did. Portland State.
What is the Emerald City?
Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Okay. I didn't have my Rand McNally here in front of me.
We'll be doing that game, actually, out in Portland a little bit next month. We'll be out at the Coliseum in Portland. It's an interesting facility.
We won't get to the Emerald City, but we will get to the Rose City.
No, we won't. And Dorothy will click her shoes and we'll all come home. 1st and 10 from the 37. Garnett tried to pitch. There was no one there.
Yes, here comes Clive Lowe to say hello, and we're under 3 minutes.
Canaris into the game, and I think he was intended to. Let's take a look at some of the finals from around, well, not all finals. Sacramento State trailing to Portland State 14-6 in the third. Northern Arizona has bumped off Southern Utah 27-7. Also in the third, Eastern Washington. We talked about the Eagles, big over Western Oregon, 27-7. So Eagles on their way to a win. Northern Arizona picks up the win. Montana wins over the Jackrabbits today in Missoula, 7-0. Touchdown holds Idaho State over Montana Western, and Weber State losing this afternoon. There's a program, Dean, at Weber State that for years was very competitive, always around in the mix, and they've come on some hard times in recent years, trying to turn that program around down in Ogden.
Resurrected the head coaching career of Ron McBride, who did well at Utah, and they saw some bowl games. I mean, Urban Meyer did a nice job, but before him, Ron McBride did a nice job down at Utah. They brought him back. Mack is back. That's their deal. Their opening game for Weber State at home this year. They set an all-time attendance record, single game, and hey, they're going to get kicked around a little bit, but they will help decide the league title. I bet you they're going to surprise a couple teams in the league. Bobcats have to go there also.
Minute 40 to go. Montana State trails Cal Poly big. Mustangs on their way to win number 2. We'll take this local break and be right back. Well, there's your story. Minute 39 to go in this one. The Mustangs go away happy tonight, as do their fans. Leading 38-10 over Montana State. They will improve to 2-1 on the season. Cats will fall to 1-2. Garnett stays in at quarterback. The pitch. Jonah Russell takes it. That'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the Bobcats gave Cal Poly, but Cal Poly gained a little confidence early on. Big play, return for the touchdown on the D. Made a couple of big plays, took the Bobcats out of a couple of opportunities, and from then on, as it started to go, that the Bobcats, a couple drives, kind of had some rhythm, but never really found it. Lule with a couple big pass plays, and he'll have some halfway decent numbers, not Travis Lule numbers, but very misleading because Cal Poly dominated on both sides of the football for basically 4 quarters tonight, although your time of possession is going to end up almost equal in this one tonight. But Cal Poly at 7.2 yards every time they handle the football. Bobcats now up to 4.2. Made it halfway respectable compared to where they were early on, 2 point whatever early on. So it has been a night for Cal Poly. Coach Rich Ellerson, the only coach the Bobcats have ever played who was born in Yokohama, Japan. There's my little piece of trivia.
Your little pearl for the night.
Ball game. Yeah, get that in there. By the way, his wife is a doctor, and at this juncture of the ball game, she's not worried about his blood pressure right now. He's doing just fine. It's always one of the bugaboos for head coaches. So
Grenfell goes back along with Ryan Force on the 4th down. Montana State taking a timeout there.
But again, a non-conference game. Been nice to win. That does nothing for you in the league. And a loss doesn't do anything in the league either.
This one comes down at the 30-yard line, and Force will let it sail out of bounds. So Montana State will take it from the 24, and we'll see if they just run the clock out here and head back to Bozeman. Get in early this morning, and then kids need to get to bed, get ready for school on Monday. It's tough when you're on the road, a college football team, and takes so much of your time.
Change at quarterback.
Yep.
Carpenter will jump in there for the Bobcats.
Carpenter looks to throw, fires across the middle for Murray. Incomplete, intercepted.
Nope. Back judge comes up and said, nope, he got some dirt in there. Nope, sorry.
Incomplete pass. And the few fans that are still left booing that play.
High snap, Carpenter rifles a ricochet. Hello. Now you could see that all the way. He didn't get it.
Had it at first, but then it went down and hit the ground. Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 24. Now they'll stay on the ground. Dominic takes it up over the 30. Runs out of bounds to stop the clock.
Well, Cal Poly's for real. I think we found that out. They're a good ball club, so they deserve to be in there. I believe the Bobcats are for real. This was not their night, obviously.
Right.
But I guarantee you, if they came in here with swelled heads thinking they were going to just beat everybody and they'd lie down, they'll get an early wake-up call besides getting home the wee hours of Sunday morning.
Carpenter throws into heavy traffic. Is that? Yeah, that's caught.
Now that's a catch.
Yeah, that's a real good catch.
And that's a heck of a laser throw right there.
First down for Montana State. Michael May in on the stop.
I mean, that's some good arm strength right there. Watch this. There's a laser right there, and Gwynn concentration all the way. Heavy traffic, hangs on.
So Carpenter gets the completion. Under a minute to go now as we finish this one up from San Luis Obispo. Man open, that's caught, and down inside the 20-yard line. Pick up the number on that. That's number
Brandon
6.
Roosevelt.
Yeah,
Brandon Roosevelt, injured last year. He can run, he can catch. He did both on that play.
And on the subject of Roosevelt, Ricky Gatewood gets back to the team next week.
Yep. Little different look.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is this week. Next week's fresh. Take a look at it. Laid up there very nice. Good concentration and hang on and go for it. Whoops, lost the ball.
This time he lost the ball, and Cal Poly falls on it. Mustangs will take a knee to end this one and preserve a 38-10 win.
Wanted to throw, just flat dropped the ball. Just dropped the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure when they look at this game, Dean, they're going to look at those two big penalties in the first half and the turnovers that led to those two quick scores late in the second quarter and made a 14-7 game, all of a sudden a 28-7 game, and that effectively was the ball game. Cats came down, got the field goal to start the third. Encouraging news there, but then Cal Poly went right back and scored on their first possession to extend the lead to 35-10, added a field goal, and that's the way it's going to end.
Well, right now, Cal Poly leads the Big Sky at 2-0.
Yep.
Beat Sac State last week handily.
That's right.
And beat the Bobcats this week. Handshakes all around. A hard-fought football game. Two good football teams. Cal Poly got the jump early and didn't let up. But now let's see where they both are in November. That's what'll make it real interesting.
Final score from San Luis Obispo. The Mustangs from Cal Poly look impressive in a 38-10 win over the Bobcats of Montana State. And we'll check in one last time with this local break from our local stations. We'll be back to wrap things up from Mustang Stadium. Back at Mustang Stadium, you see them, cheerleaders, the band's playing, the houses are rocking. It's a W for Cal Poly as they polish off the Bobcats at San Luis Obispo in Central California tonight. 38-10 the final score. All Mustangs in this one, 28-7 at the half. Added 10 more in the second. More than enough, and Dean, I think we've seen enough to know that Cal Poly is going to be a team that might be around come November.
You bet. And we said coming in, Tremaine Murray for the Bobcats coming home. 5 catches, 107 yards. Okay. We said James Noble for Cal Poly. Yep, he had a big night for them also with a 49-yard touchdown run to go with all of his other stuff. So there's your 2 guys that we said would be in the spotlight for either ball club, and they were. But the spotlight probably was directed more at the defense for Cal Poly than anything else, because that was probably the difference in this ball game.
Yeah, pressure by the defense on Travis Lulay. Many times Travis unable to get anything generated offensively because he simply didn't have time to throw the football. And credit the Mustangs defense on that. Let's go down below to Chris Bach.
Guys, I'm joined by winning head coach Rich Ellerson. Rich, 7 in a row against Montana State. You obviously have their number. Now, big matchup coming in, number 11 versus number 18. Did you expect to see the score like this?
Well, no, I expected it to be a hard-fought game. I knew it was 2 good football teams, and I still think it's 2 good football teams. You just never know how these things unwind themselves. But, we were opportunistic. We made some plays when we had to, but there were all kinds of critical plays throughout the game, including in the second half there. We were fortunate to come up on the high end of it. But that was a good football team we played. That's a good win for our football team.
Now, this being a non-conference game has no implications on conference record. How much confidence does this give you guys going into the Great West?
Well, I think confidence is a big thing. Obviously we had high expectations going into the season. This validates some of those things. We got our block knocked off a little bit at Troy, and this last 2 weeks have really helped us, get back to where we thought we could be, should be, and we didn't do it by accident. We worked hard to get to where we are. We worked hard the last 2 weeks to get to where we are. So, we're confident, but we're confident for the right reasons.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations on the win, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. There you have it, 38-10. Happy coach, pleased with his effort. Back with more, and wrap things up. Our players of the game coming up next from Mustang Stadium.
Hey, Mom and Dad, the Billings Hotel and Convention Center has a package just for you. For just $74, you get 1 night stay with a room for 4, complimentary continental breakfast, plus your choice of 4 passes to Geyser Park or the Maze Thing, and 2 passes for Comedy Night. The Billings Hotel and Convention Center, conveniently located off King Avenue Interchange, has all the services you expect. Dine in comfort in the restaurant or take a dip in the pool when you take advantage of the Fall Into Fun special at the Billings Hotel and Convention Center.
Whether it's the power and exhilaration of NMRA drag racing, the handling and performance of Speed World Challenge, or the traction and durability of extreme rock crawling at U-Rock, Toyo Tires is there. The knowledge we've gained from our success in racing gives us the ability to build a higher quality, longer lasting tire for your car, truck, or SUV. Innovation through competition. That's our philosophy. Because at Toyo Tires, we are driven to perform.
This is it. A new season, a new look, a time to build on the past and create a new future. A time to take all the work, dreams, and promise and bring it to the field. Can Travis Lulay orchestrate his offense to the team's 3rd victory in 4 years over the Grizz? Can the revamped defense return to prominence in the Big Sky Conference? Can Mike Kramer hang another conference championship banner in the field house?
Join me, Chris Bach, every week as we track the Bobcats and find answers to these questions on an all-new show, Bobcat Football with Mike Kramer.
And back at San Luis Obispo to wrap things up tonight as Cal Poly has put this one away in the win column, 38-10. And Dean, I don't think much argument as to who we think the players of the game were on both sides of the football.
No, I think we said that going in on who it would be, and I think neither one of those guys let anybody down. I think maybe James Noble was even more than advertised, if that is indeed possible. But he showed a lot, and he is a freshman playing in only a 2nd game for Cal Poly, and the Bobcats did not solve his running tonight.
Tremaine Murray is our player for the Bobcats of Montana State. And again, Dean, good numbers for him again tonight as he gets up over 100 yards.
Yeah, 5 for 107. And most of those obviously were really tough catches on a tough night. Travis Lulay having a tough night trying to find time to throw. let alone complete anything. But Murray came through. Chaz Gwynn did have 4 for 47, but it would be Tremaine Murray as advertised again. Pressure spotlights on him. He came through. And again, James Noble for Cal Poly.
And both teams will move on now to next week as Cal Poly will hit the road to Brookings, South Dakota to take on the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, who played a very, very strong game in Missoula this afternoon, losing to the Montana Grizzlies by a score of 7-0. Actually had a chance to tie that game. And then for Montana State, it's back to Sales Stadium in Bozeman as they host the Bison of North Dakota State. We'll be back to wrap things up from California. Stay with us after these words from your local television stations. And tonight's game between Cal Poly and Montana State has been brought to you by these fine sponsors across Montana. The Bobcats losing to Cal Poly. Toyo Tires, sponsor of tonight's game. Also your Montana Ford stores. And by the Four Seasons Property Maintenance. Northwestern Energy. Billings Hotel and Convention Center, and Transaria. And thanks to all of those sponsors helping us bringing you Bobcat football all season long. 7 big games on the Max Media Montana Sports Network. 2 down and on to number 3 next week in Bozeman as the Bobcats will play host to North Dakota State. And Dean, looking at that key play in the fourth quarter, there's a bunch of them. Most of them, though, go the way of the Mustangs.
Yeah, you bring in senior backup Phil Skinner getting an opportunity, and again, as we've talked about, you get an opportunity, you have to make the most of it. And there's a little bit of time. He comes back up to get the ball. And look at this. Hello, Mom. I'm coming right to see you. Didn't mean to step into the living room, but here I am right there. Well, you have that one big moment. You want to get all the FaceTime you can, and he did it.
Yeah, he got FaceTime with the turf at the end of that play as well. And that was just one play that really reflected the dominance of the Mustangs tonight in this non-conference matchup for the Bobcats as they come west to California. In San Luis Obispo. What a beautiful area of the country this is. Coming in yesterday and a great afternoon today. And, of course, for the Bobcats, it'll be a bit of a longer plane ride home now as they try to analyze what went wrong in this loss. But at any rate, we head back to Bozeman, start looking ahead, as coaches so often do. They'll be breaking down game film by tomorrow, looking ahead to next week's game with the Bison.
Well, check and make sure everybody's okay. Nobody got hurt in this one. Again, pre-conference. This is the dress rehearsal for the conference season. You want a good, solid non-conference schedule. Obviously, the Bobcats have that. If they've got anyone to yell at, it would be the schedule maker.
Let's take a look at some of the upcoming games that we'll be doing for the Bobcats, as we talked about. Next week, it'll be the Bison from North Dakota State. Then October 1st, and as you mentioned, it all begins again as we start Big Sky Conference play by hosting the Bengals of Idaho State.
Yeah, and I think they're better than anyone thought. They're going to be good. That's a tough opener. The good news is it's Bozeman, but next week, as we said, North Dakota State will be the highest-ranked team, 1AA team the Bobcats have played yet, and the good news is they get them in Bozeman. You heard Coach Rich Ellerson say to Chris Bach on the sidelines that they got their block stop against Troy State. It woke them up. They got tough, and then they won the next two. So this game could serve the same purpose for the Bobcats of Montana State. Believe me, they aren't happy with anything that happened here tonight.
All right, and then it's down to Ogden to take on Weber State. And then we'll be back on the air with Portland State in the Rose City October 15th as Portland State, one of those teams, Dean, think could be near the top of the Big Sky Conference and the first maybe really big road test for the Cats in Big Sky play.
Yeah, the Bobcats with Portland State, similar to a Cal Poly, although they've had more luck beating them, but a similar situation. Always just a tussle with Portland State for whatever reason, and doubly hard out in Portland. Bobcats have struggled in Portland at Portland State.
Up next then, Northern Arizona. That's a noon kickoff against the Lumberjacks, and also a noon kickoff for the Hornets of Sacramento State. Two teams in maybe middle of the pack, but who knows? NAU and Sac State not picked to be among the top teams in the Big Sky this year, but if we all hold serve through those two games, take a look at that game on November the 12th when we go to Eastern Washington.
Yeah, Eastern Washington and then the Grizzlies. So here's the guy for Cal Poly tonight. If there's one guy who say made the biggest difference, it'd have to be the freshman from Barstow, California. And here's 49 yards worth of highlights from James Noble.
Yeah. Well, and that play right there, Bobcats saw more than they needed to with James Noble. That's going to do it from Mustang Stadium in San Luis Obispo. Hope you enjoyed tonight's game between the Bobcats of Montana State and Cal Poly. For Dean Alexander, I'm Chris Byers saying so long from San Luis Obispo. We'll see you next week.